All right. Now we're all on the same page. Literally. Deontay, Lisa, Hila Barber, Melanie, Terrence, Richard, Nelson, welcome. Elaine, I think that is Natalie, 732 number, Miriam, Tony.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you, sir. We can hear you. Yep, can hear everybody. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Y'all can hear me as well? Can you hear me, Lola?
Yes. All right, everybody's on. Not everybody, but well, most of us are on. We never can seem to get everybody on, but most of us are on. So most of us were on. Welcome to week number 3, right? 3, right? Isn't it 3? Yeah.
Yes.
3. And it has been very active. A very, very active week for, hold on a second, y'all. It has been a very, very active week for everybody. I'm super excited about all of the stuff that y'all got going on. It's just pretty cool, you know. I see everybody posting properties in the group and just kind of getting it going. And that is what the hope always is. I will tell you, this doesn't always happen. I don't want to keep expanding the size of y'all's heads by telling y'all this over and over again. However, this is the best class that we have had in a very, very long time. Not saying anybody is, you know, not cool. Just saying that the energy and the effort that is put forth is, okay, somebody about to get, and I don't think I know who it is. God bless. I'm about to put somebody on the straight. Hey, okay, maybe y'all fixed it. And so like this weekend, you know, we'll talk a little bit about Miriam and I bouncing around in Maryland because she was up this way. That was really cool. It's been a long time since I went out with anybody. I usually just do it by myself. So it was really cool to have somebody with me and somebody who was new to it again, you know, because we only do that in our one-on-one sessions. But because I had to go and look at something, she was already with me. So it was like, all right, well, I'm gonna keep going. You wanna keep going? So we kept going, and it was just really fun. Like in a span, probably, first of all, when Miriam met me, she had already had like what, 5 properties that you had written down from Clinton and all these other different places. So she had already started riding around looking. So I'm saying that initially, oh, Canessa's not on here. That's who needs to be on here. Because we were in Fort Washington, Maryland, and we were just like, yo, I told him, I'm gonna be over here every week, right now, properties. And I know which way you went out, but when I went out, I don't think I looked when we were on our way in, but when we were on our way out, I looked to the left of me, and on the horizon, all you could see was the big piles of dirt from the cranes they were building, all this different stuff. I saw like a football field size lot that had buildings in it that they were building that looked like Brooklyn brownstones, Mimi. Can you believe that? Like I was blown. I was like, yo, this is crazy. But I mean, what it told me was what was happening. And so what it told me was digging around in that area, you're gonna come up with some gold. And because the market was bad, and it's not a poor area. It used to be a very wealthy area, as a matter of fact. But over the years, it's kind of, because it's an older community, so it's getting built up, right? But there's some gold in there, okay? And then Deontay posted some pictures, and so I want to go over what everybody has going on, what you've seen, because I want to see what you're looking at, how you're looking at it. Miriam was with me, so she really got to see, you know, what I look at, what I pay attention to, above and beyond some of the basic stuff. You know, we passed by one place and I said, back up. She was like, Dad, She was like, you be seeing everything. Because sometimes you'll pass by something and it'll look, I think I told y'all about my first house that I had put under contract, and it looked really cute with the little doily, the little lace curtains in the window, but it was a box of bricks. It had a hole in the ceiling. And so you can look at something real quick, and a lot of times neighbors will keep up the lawns. So you can't just tell, grass can't be your reason for stopping and looking. There's got to be more stuff. And so Deontay posted some pictures of some gorgeous homes in Poughkeepsie, New York. Like, I want to pack up and go to Poughkeepsie right now, like, and remodel one of them daggone houses. And I know, Natalie, you got some stuff, right, Natalie, that you saw? I can't see your face, but I see your number. Well, I know she told me, I think she posted that she had some things as well. So I'm celebrating. Melanie always got stuff. She always looking up stuff. She always got stuff. So I'm celebrating all of those who have told me about things. But that doesn't mean I'm not celebrating everybody else, because I'm just glad that y'all keep showing up. You know, I've had people pay, Haywood and I have had people pay us $2,500, $5,000, $10,000, and then not show up past class 2, right? Because it required work and they just really didn't want to do the work. There was the beginning of the first Kevin Hart movie comedy thing, you know, his stand-up. And I think it was Laugh at My Pain. And in the beginning, him and all his boys, his entourage, are standing and they got their hands like this, and they going, everybody want to be rich, but don't nobody want to do the work. Everybody want to be rich, but don't want, and that's how I feel. I feel like everybody wants stuff, but nobody wants to do the work. So when you stick and stay, I don't even, you know, if you don't stay out, paying doesn't mean you're staying. It just doesn't. I've seen it not happen too many times. So the fact that y'all keep showing up and asking questions and doing the work, I'm celebrating everybody. Like, that's huge to me that y'all are asking questions, that y'all are interacting with each other in the group, because what we're able to do, like, I was so excited this week too, and then I want you guys to share after this about what you've been seeing out there. I was so excited this week to have been able to jump on and tell you guys about what Miriam was doing, right? So then we got a chance to jump on and everybody was asking questions and making comments and stuff in Facebook Live. I don't know anybody who gives that level of mentoring. Now, if you're not on the Facebook group at the time, then you don't see it. You can go back and look at it later, because the recording will show up just like it's live. But the fact that we're able to be in contact with each other like that is powerful. So I want you guys to utilize this group like that. I mean, really, really, really use this group, because that's the point. You're seeing what other people are posting. Like, okay, so for instance, Deontay posted the pictures of those houses, right? I posted the pictures of one of the houses Miriam and I saw. But because Deontay posted the pictures of those houses, some of you guys might have thought the only thing that you should have been looking at was stuff that looked funky and ugly, right? But those houses were gorgeous. So that's not a prerequisite. It doesn't have to look nasty. We just have to establish that it's empty, right? Or vacant, and that it's a possibility that we can mail to it, because it's not being upkept. Like, when I looked at those pictures really well, I could see that the upkeep was low on I could tell that. But first glance, you might drive past the house and say, oh, that's nice, and not really be paying attention to it. So it's really important that you look at all the particulars. We're going to talk about the particulars again for what y'all are looking for, because I want everybody to come back to this Zoom session next time with houses, with properties. I don't care where you live. There's some abandoned properties around where you live. I don't care where you live. They exist. Okay. So I want everybody to come back next time with a few, at least. If it's not a list, then at least a few. Tonight, I'm going to actually show you, and I haven't even shown Miriam this yet, but I'm going to actually show you because I'm going to share my screen. So I'm going to show you the trail that I took to find what exactly, okay, because the house that we saw that I posted in the Facebook group, we had the wrong address, right, Miriam? So we had the wrong address, but we didn't know that. But what it was is that there's a house missing in between those two houses, right? But we didn't know that. So we were guessing what the number was, because it's been such a long time since these people got mail. The mailbox don't got no cover. There ain't no number on it. There's no number on the house, nothing. And it's being pretty well kept, except for the vines and stuff that were grown over in front of the door. So I'm going to go over exactly how I found that address, because it took some work, okay, to figure that out. So I want to show you guys that. Now that takes a little bit of time. Everybody interested in learning that? How you find that? Nobody? Y'all not interested? I don't see nobody raising their hands. All right, well, forget it. I'm just not going to show it. Oh, okay. All right. Okay. I see some hands going up now.
I don't know how to raise my hand.
Oh, you on the phone. You can't raise your hand. Michelle. So, okay, I see you. I see you typed in. Oh, very good. Michelle, you raised your hand from your iPhone. I'm so proud of you. Okay, y'all are all raising your hands now. So, Elaine, I see you saying yes. We're going to figure out how to get you on this Zoom so we can see your face because you are beautiful. I see you on your Facebook stuff every day. I want to see your face. Everybody needs to see you. So we got to figure out, you contact me outside of the class so I can play around with this thing with you and figure out how to get you on Zoom, okay? But we're going to do that. So that's what we're going to go over some. But first, okay, Miriam, you last. So Deontay, you know I love you. Deontay, tell everybody a little bit about what you saw, what made you write down those houses, and what you think you're going to do next. What should you be doing next in order to see? All right, Richard, I see you. Tell me your experience.
So one of the things that stood out the most to me is that you said poor upkeep of the property. So I look for properties where, it looked like the paint was coming off of the front, the windows maybe, like where maybe the frames were not looking too good, pieces of the building may have been like missing or the yard wasn't cut right. So I looked for a few of those things. I found a lot more than I thought I would, but I just took down the addresses. My next step was doing the parcel search to get the owner's contact information so I can mail them out the letters. So I have all of that with me right now. My next step is going to be mailing out these letters. I'm going to try to get that done tomorrow. Well, I'm going to get that done tomorrow. And look for my first response.
All right, because your first call is coming. You just got to get those letters out. So when you went on and you looked at the tax assessment page, the parcel property page, when you saw that, did you find that the addresses were different than those addresses that you saw? So were they different than the addresses, or was it the same address?
Out of the 14 that I got, I think maybe 8 of them had the same address as the property I was actually looking at.
Okay.
So I tried my best to make sure that the places were vacant. A lot of them had like curtains up in the windows. So, and they were a little higher up. So I know I can't get up there and start looking around all crazy, but they did look pretty vacant. So, but when I did the parcel search, some of the addresses were the exact same addresses I was looking at.
And how many did you say you wrote down?
14.
So out of 14, 8 had the same address, so the other ones didn't, right?
Correct.
Okay. Okay. So write down that we're gonna, and if I don't remember this, that I'm gonna show you guys on the screen another way to find out what a different address might be. Okay. Or somebody that you can go to find out where this person is right now. How do we find that person that might be able to tell us where? And I'm not gonna answer any of that right this minute because I want everybody to share first, and then I'll answer it. I want to address what he said about the grass not being cut. One of the things that Miriam, that I was able to point out to her was that when a property, we often say that distressed people end up with distressed properties, right? So when you are distressed in your home because of bills, remember, if you owe your mortgage, you owe a whole bunch of other stuff too, 9 times out of 10. So you is stressed out. Somebody come bother you, might punch them in the nose because you're not sleeping. You are at your wit's end. And so because you are at your wit's end, you don't remember to take care of your lawn. Like I was walking my girlfriend's neighborhood. She lives in a high-end neighborhood in Brandywine. And so I was walking the neighborhood with her and I was showing her that house, those people have a problem. And it was funny because as she sold all these people these houses in this neighborhood, she's like a $500,000 a year new home salesperson. I'm talking about her income. And every time I would point out a house, we went walking, probably about 3 miles. And I would say that those people were having some problems. And she would say, "Oh my God, girl, how do you know that?" She was like, well, this one's husband left and this one. But I could tell because the upkeep, this is a nice neighborhood. This is why you drive nice neighborhoods too, okay? Because this is a fly neighborhood. These houses are $700,000, $800,000 houses. But when you have a $700,000, $800,000 house, guess what? You don't let your grass get raggedy. You don't cut your lawn with a weed whacker. That's not what you do. You have the money to buy a lawnmower to make your lawn look like it's supposed to in a neighborhood like that. When you're in a $700,000 house, when you're in a $200,000 house and you have pride in it, you don't let the shrubs look like we in, the Jungle Boys habitat. You make sure them bad boys are level, that they shape nice. You might even have a shape like animals or, whatever. But you don't have them looking crazy. When your mind is messed up because you don't have any money, you wouldn't give a damn what they look like. Okay? They could be dead and you would be walking past them every day and not even see that they dead. You wouldn't have a clue. You wouldn't know somebody stole 2 or 3 of them. Because you're not thinking about that. That house now is a liability to you. It's something that causes you headache. In the beginning, it was something that caused you a great deal of pride. But now it causes you headache. And so it does. If it's a decent neighborhood, no, I take that back. It could be a bad neighborhood. There's always people on the block on a bad neighborhood. The people who still care about their homes in a bad neighborhood, they keep their lawns looking decent, whether it's big or small. Miriam and I saw lawns that undoubtedly had been cut with a weed whacker. Beyond a shadow of a doubt. When you cut your lawn with a weed whacker, you don't care, okay? Because it looks like somebody who's got alopecia or something, okay? It doesn't look right. It doesn't look right at all. So those are some of the things that you are looking for. You're looking for vines grown over the front of the house. You're looking for mailboxes without a cover. Everybody want their mailbox to have a cover. They don't want people looking to see in the mail. If it had a cover at one particular point in time, you wanted to. You even looking for buildings that you can't see what the number is. Because by the time you don't care that the number is on the outside of your house for people to find it, you don't care about that house. Okay? You guys write all of this stuff down because this stuff makes a difference. This is the difference between you finding a property and you not finding a property. This is the difference between your money and not your money. It may sound simple and like you already know, but like Miriam saw, there's things that you start to notice about these houses that you never noticed before. If you can't, I put you this way, if you can't tell off the bat, this is all you have to do. Look at the nice houses that are upkept well. Look at those first. Pay attention to those first. Stare at those. Look at them. See what they look like. Look at them. And after you look at the nice houses, then look at the not so nice ones. Or look at the ones that you think might be kind of vacant and you'll see the differences. Start writing it down. Well, this house, the grass was nice, but that house is not. Well, this house looked like there was sheets up to the window instead of curtains. Okay? That's one of them we saw. It looked like that. Well, this house was not. This house didn't have no mailbox cover. Start paying attention because you'll discover your own things. You'll come back here and tell me some stuff that you saw that I never even thought about. That showed you that the house was empty. Now, it's not always that the house was empty because one of the houses that we looked at in the cul-de-sac, it wasn't that the house was empty, but it was that the house had been through some changes, passed from person to person, sold from person to person, and probably not the person who initially bought the house. They were family members because remember you said everybody had the same last name, right? And that everybody had the same last name who had purchased, all the different purchasers. But a lot of them that we found, they were on the market and then they were off the market. So that speaks to another way to find that we talked about last time, which is expired listings or withdrawn listings. Okay? Expired or withdrawn listings is a great route to go to try to find motivated sellers. So if you have friends or you agents, oh, you know what? That's a Trinae, you guys. Go into the group after we finish and ask her if she's okay. We're all gonna do that. I saw a post that she did right before I got on that someone had passed, and I don't know who the someone was because she didn't address that, but it said that she was having a really hard time dealing with it. So let's just give her a little shout. Yes, Haywood?
It may be her dad. Somebody got on my street this morning, and it was a handle that I was aware of and recognized, but I couldn't remember who it was. And we prayed for her. but I didn't know if it was Trinae or not. So it might have been her this morning. So it might be her dad.
Okay.
You know.
Okay, well, I'll check it and then I'll post something, and we all are in that group. So if you want to post something to her, you know how to tag somebody, hope you're okay, blah, 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 then I would like for us to do that if we can. I came in and at the last minute, and I just remembered it when I was talking to you guys because I saw it earlier. So if we can do that, then that would be good. That would be good. So we want to be looking for these things all the time. Why? Because that's where our money is, period. I mean, Miriam came with me to a property. I'm gonna talk about this, and then Miriam, I want you to talk about what your experience was after we left that property, and I'm interested to hear what your experience was while you were with me talking to the young lady. I'm not gonna mention her name. Okay, I'll tell you what happened with her since I saw you. So a young woman contacted me and wanted me to come and look at a property. She wanted to be a part of the class, she said, but then she had a property, so I went to look at the property. Remember what I told you guys about when someone says a property is in excellent shape, it's not, it's in good shape. When they say good, it's in fair. When they say fair, it's in poor. And if they tell you poor, then you may fall through the floor. Remember that? Okay. Whew. So we get to this house. And there are, first of all, the overgrowth in the front of the yard was out of control, okay? It was like nobody had lived there since Methuselah. The devil was a boy, something. It was unbelievable. I have pictures. I'm going to post them. I meant to post them in the group already, but I didn't. So, okay, so much overgrowth on the side of the house that she had to go into the side door because she couldn't find the front door key. And Miriam and I were like, okay, she said, I can open up the front door. We were like, okay, you do that. Because we weren't walking into the bush around the side of the house, okay? And the reason why is this, and this is why Miriam said, am I dressed okay? She had on shorts and a t-shirt and some sandals. I said, actually, you're overdressed, right? And so was I, because I was coming from somewhere else. I was really overdressed, right, ma'am? I was way overdressed. But I mean, I didn't have on heels or nothing. I had on flat sandals, but I was still overdressed. So when you go, I made a mistake and I broke a rule. You always go to properties like you're a contractor almost, kind of, sort of, okay? You need to have on shoes or sneakers or whatever when you're going to look at something with somebody because you don't know what you're going to encounter, right? You need to have on, see, for me, I wear jeans. Because like I would have walked back up in the brush had I had something covering my legs or something covering my feet, but I didn't. So you want to come prepared. And so she walked along the side and she opened the door and she went inside and she opened up the front. Well, when she opened up the front door, the smell of the inside of the house almost knocked us down. It was mildew and moldy smelling. And she walked in there like it was okay, right? But now this person told me when I asked her, oh no, the house is okay. And I bought all these materials and they're there and those materials can be used. Okay, up at the top of the wall where the roof meets the wall, I could see outside. Miriam, did you not see outside? Okay, I could see outside. These were not supposed to be skylights on the sides of the wall.
I did see that.
Okay. And she acted like she did not know that was there. I was like, do you understand that I could see outside? She was like, well, I guess so. Right? So then, and I'm telling you guys this so you will understand that when you talk to these sellers, they are going to not tell you the truth. We say buyers are liars, but sellers are storytellers. Let's say it like that. Okay? Because the picture that this girl painted for me was nothing like what I saw when I got there. So we get in there. So remember, I told you, she said she had purchased all these products, flooring and cabinets, all these different things. And she is just like, because, I just need somebody to come and finish doing the work. Because I already got the stuff. I already got the drywall. I already got this. Okay. Let me ask y'all a question. If you bought drywall almost 3 years ago, and we could see outside from the top of the walls in the house that you have, and it's been raining and snowing and hot and cold, how well y'all think that drywall is going to fare in that house? You think you're gonna want to use that? Heck no. And so drywall absorbs everything. It absorbs moisture. It absorbs everything when it's laying. It's a very porous material. And so because it is, I was trying to explain to her, you can't use this stuff. It smelled like the inside of the house. And I actually, after a minute, was standing there. So I said, look, we need to get up out of here. Because what happened was I started to look around and I saw black mold. All right. So the money that she's going to have to pay to eradicate the mold and the this and the that. And then she told me she had already spent thousands of dollars to get rid of termites in the floorboard. Look, man, this is why y'all are taking this class. This is why y'all are learning how to do real estate investing so that you don't do that. Okay. That was a nightmare. Oh, I didn't tell y'all this. She paid $120,000 for this house. Cash.
125, she said.
She actually admitted to paying more. She corrected me and said, no, I was 125. I'm like, okay. So she did not want to believe that she would. Then I asked her how much she wanted for the house, and she turned around and told me 150. This is not the conversation that we had before I got to the house. Trust and believe. It was not the conversation. Telling y'all all of this so you understand you gotta be prepared for whatever you get when you go to this space. Okay, so I'm gonna fast forward. Miriam and I were there. It smelled bad. There was a deck on the side of the house. I said, that's got to get torn down. She was like, well, yeah, but not really. She didn't really understand that. So what people have, she has an emotional attachment to this house. We can't hear you, Mr. Barber.
And never lived in it. So imagine for people that grew up in the house and so on and so forth. Absolutely. Another point too that Lola mentioned, and I don't want to kill your rhythm, but I wrote it down, so I won't. So go ahead, keep going, Lola.
Well, I'm just gonna finish talking about the house. I still salute her. She's 21 years old. She bought the house almost 3 years ago when she was had just turned 19. So I'm not mad at her. Well, right before she turned 19. She's doing what she needs to do. She got a bunch of grown-ups around her that absolutely did nothing to help her. In addition to that, she had an agent who I consider to be a dirty agent because the agent sold her the house way over market. Okay, way over market. That house shouldn't have been sold for more than $50,000 or $60,000. Period. And the agent was, guess what, y'all? A friend of the family. A friend of the family. She said that. Remember, didn't she say that? A friend of the family.
She sure did. She did her dirty.
Right? She did that poor child so dirty that it was mind-blowing, So it's a cautionary tale for how to, you can't believe what these people say. I'm not trying to make y'all not believe anything because a lot of times, sometimes I can't say a lot of times. Sometimes they are telling the truth. But when they haven't lived in the house, and she still doesn't get it. She sent me a message. I called her back, Miriam, that night. And I said, I hope you're not feeling bad about, what happened. I hope you're not feeling badly about that because you still stepped out to do something. Being so young, it happened, but we can see if we can try to get you out of it. But you got to be willing to know that you're not going to get $150,000 for that house. And she said, well, I don't know if I don't know. I got to think about it. She just kept saying, I got to think about it. I got to think about it. So then I followed up with her today. I think it was today. Yeah, I followed up with her today. And she let me know that she did not believe me. I'm just keeping it 100 with y'all. This is what happens. This is real life. She did not believe what I said. And she felt like there were people who would make sure she got the money that she wanted to get because she had put close to $200,000 in the house and she felt like she deserved to get out at least $150,000. Oh, forgot to tell you this little bit. She let the house get sold for the taxes that were owed.
Wait a minute. We didn't hear that when we were there.
And I called her later on, and she is right, and she insisted that she still had to pay the taxes, right? But when I got on the phone with her that evening, when I got back and I called her, I kept asking questions. That's what she don't like to answer. She don't want to answer a lot of questions because she knew she was gonna get caught in her story. So I said, So when are you supposed to pay these taxes? She said, oh, well, the ones this year are due now. I just got the mail because my father, he didn't give me the mail. And she said, yeah, but the ones last year. I said, wait a minute, did this property go up for tax sale already? She said, yeah. I said, so somebody bought it for $3,978. She was like, yeah. I said, well, you do have a redemption period, but you do know that they can add money on to it when they sell it back to you. So you're not going to get it back for $3,900. That's not going to happen. She said, yeah, well, I'm still going to figure it out. Now, she knows she doesn't know anything. So I said, okay. I got off the phone with her. I called a friend of mine who does rehabs. And I said to him, hey, look, I got this situation. Is there anything that you can work out? Because I'm still trying to help this girl. You understand? Because Haywood and I tell you, that's our move first and foremost. What did I say on the cards? We help people out of sticky real estate situations. That's my first charge. She came to me. So that's my first charge, right? So she tells me, I texted this morning. I said, well, I talked to my friend and he said we might be able to do something. So let's talk about it. No. Well, she said, oh, really? I was under the impression, correct me if I'm wrong, but I was under the impression, and she tried to run back what I said to her, like she was trying to say that I had lied. So I said, I'm gonna wish you the best. I really do. I wish you the best in this, because I wanted to teach her. She decided she didn't want to learn anything else either. So I said, okay, that's fine. I wish you the best, that you get as much as you possibly can from that house. It sounds like you think that I'm trying to take something from you. I said, but I'm just trying to help you out. Trying to help you out as best I know. I said, you came to me and I can't train you anyway if you don't believe that I know how to help you. There's nothing that I can do for you. And I kind of left her by the wayside. Let me tell you my mistake in this, because I'm okay with sharing that with you. My mistake in this situation was not going at her harder in the beginning. But she came to me not on that. She came to me on something else. So I immediately went into mentor mode, right? Trying to help her out. So, and when it comes to women, I have a soft spot for that kind of stuff. If it was a dude, I would have ripped his head off. Not that I don't like y'all, but I'm just saying. So because she was a young woman and 21 years old, brand new baby, I was trying to really help her, and I didn't go at her when it came for the money of that property. I happen to think that really she just was trying to find somebody to put some money into her house. That's what I think, because that's the only thing that makes sense to me. And that ended up not working. But you'll end up coming into contact with all kind of people, you guys, with all kinds of houses. There are different strategies that you can use to do different things. But the bottom line is the comps have to say to you, the comps is what speaks to you to teach you, okay, about whether or not it's a deal. So you have to, and she owns it free and clear. But the comps after that house needs at least $70,000. It needs at least $70,000. That house is like non-existent to me on the inside, and it's so mildewed and it's so poor. The comps are in the high twos, maybe. Okay, so for her to pull out $150,000, this is not realistic. She insisted that's what she wants. But people will come to you with all kind of stuff. Stand your ground. Be nice, but don't let anybody tell you that you don't know what you know about what you're doing, because by the time you finish this, you will know what you're doing, okay? And if you have any questions, I said before, and I'm not really supposed to do this, so hey, I hope you're okay with it. I'm a text message away. So if you somewhere and somebody tells you something about a property and you're not sure, you text me, you ask me, you take a picture while they don't know. I don't care. You could FaceTime me if you got an iPhone. I'll sit there and listen to the whole thing if I'm not busy. You understand what I'm saying? To make sure that this process is going in the way that it should. And that is what I'll do. Hey, well, what was the thing that you wanted to say? Hey, where'd you go? Oh, there you go. What did you write down that you wanted to say?
One, yes, they should dress for the work, right? You should at least have on boots, and really you shouldn't even have on sneakers, just in case you get to a house and it got nails or the floor is soft and all that kind of stuff. And you'll learn more of that stuff as you go along. And I don't want any of the sisters, any of the women going in these houses by themselves. I really would prefer not to. I'd rather you go with somebody. There's a protocol that agents know about, and I think you should learn them. So really try to use your common sense when you're going in the houses, even if you're alone, whether you're alone or with a person, especially if it's a man, even if it's a woman, because you never know. You just never know. So anyway, I just want everybody to be be conscious of that. And yeah, you shouldn't dress up and all that kind of stuff, but wear boots. And sometimes in certain houses, like that house Lola and Miriam were in, they should have actually had masks. And Lola used to have masks in her truck. Well, she's got masks in her truck, but she doesn't have her truck. And then most folk are working off ignorance, and the people that are around them are working off ignorance unless they have specialized knowledge. And so you have to keep that in mind, and you have to talk to them like that. You don't want to talk to them like they're stupid, but you want to talk to them like, yeah, people around you might be thinking such and such and this and that, but most people really don't know. So, just be careful in the way that you speak to them. You don't want to make them seem like they're stupid or that the people that are around them are stupid. But like this girl, she don't know nothing. So the honest truth is that she's very ignorant, which brings me to the third point. And the third point is ignorance is not just bliss, it's dangerous. That's why y'all are here, just like Lola's saying. The fact is that you're learning, these strategies, exit strategies, so you know how to move around these kind of deals and stuff like that. And where this girl is, she is so clueless that she actually thinks that somebody's trying to get over on her, and she's the one. But the deal is, and this is why she was actually trying to get over on Lola. If you think about it, she was trying to pull a fast one, or like Lola said, she was trying to get somebody to get some money into the house or something. She's just trying to be slick, and that's why she thinks somebody's trying to be slick to her, or she either recognizes somebody got her, and maybe she's overly cautious. But nonetheless, she's hurting herself. But this is what Lola is doing this is for. It's because and I'm so proud of her because God knows. To see her doing this solo, it just brings tears to my eyes. I mean, honestly, because this is what you're going to know in the next 5 weeks. And you're never going to get this kind of information from people, from teaching, nowhere else. Because this is the nitty gritty. So like she said, make sure you're taking notes. So absolutely be careful about what you're wearing, right? Definitely want to have boots on and be careful. I would have sleeves on because of fleas and things like that. And then just be cautious that people are ignorant and they are moving off of their ignorance. And then the last thing, of course, that ignorance is not only blitz, but it's dangerous. It's very dangerous. Lola, I'm sorry, back to you.
Oh, no, thanks. Thank you. And again, so what he said about women going in, the young lady also had called, she texted me early in the day and asked if I could meet her at her aunt's house, right? And I told me, I said, I don't really know if I'm going, because if I got to meet her at her aunt's house, I don't do that. So I texted her back and said, I don't really do that. I meet people at the properties, I don't meet them at their family's houses. Why? Because you don't know what's going on. She's watching me online. She may be thinking, who knows what this situation is, what we walking into. So I ended up telling her, no, I would meet her at the house, but you never go alone. Guys, too, I'm gonna be honest with you, you can go by yourself, but the way that the world is today, that's not something that you might want to do on a regular basis. It's just not. Because you don't know what people are laying for you. And remember, when you tell somebody that you're a real estate investor, they immediately start counting your money. Okay? So they have in mind that you got deep pockets and maybe they can get you for whatever it is you pull up in or whatever. So you have to stay mindful of that and not go to properties alone. If you're driving by, that's fine. But if you're going into the property, Miriam and I parked at the bottom of the hill of the house, not up in the driveway. Okay? Because there had to be, if something was, and it was because there was a truck in the driveway. So until she went in the house and she opened up the door and we could look, I still was wondering where the hell was the person who the truck belonged to. You understand what I'm saying? You have to not be paranoid, but you have to think that stuff through. You just have to think it through. Miriam, before I go over to what I call skip tracing, which is how to find the absentee owner, you want to share with everybody a little bit of what you learned and what your experience was like on Sunday?
Well, one of the things was that she was very attached to the house. And like Haywood said, she never even lived in the house. And she kept saying, my house. And her dad was trying to help her and giving her advice. And she was like, my house. So there was definitely a very deep emotional connection to the house. I was kind of shocked at the condition of the house. Like no walls up, nothing. The smell was really bad. And at one point you was like, you said you was concerned about the air quality because we shouldn't even have been inside.
Right.
And she had the lights on. She said the bill was like $200 some. She's like, she even paid it yet. I was,
Yeah, she said the bill was $200. I said, well, why you got the electricity on in this house? And she said, oh, it's only like $200 a month, but I haven't paid it in a long time.
yeah, I was like, okay. It was just a lot. I mean, I can tell I didn't remember I asked you, like, if you were to try to cost out the property, like, what would you think, it would cost? And you said, it would be a complete gut. Because I was trying to figure out, like, from room to room,
It needs everything.
what kind of money she would have to put into the property to get it up to par.
The bathroom wasn't finished. The kitchen, there was nothing there.
Nothing was finished, nothing at all.
None of the plumbing stuff, nothing was done. Like,
And
nothing was done.
she was trying to put in high-end fixtures for the house. And that wasn't like the kind of neighborhood the neighborhood was decent, but it wasn't like a brand new neighborhood where people were going to pay top dollar for all of this new stuff, like upgraded stuff. Like the thing that she put up in the ceiling, what was that?
I don't know what that was.
Okay.
I don't know. And what you want to try to do with people as well, you guys, is not to offend them, right? So you don't want to offend anybody. And so there were lots of things that I wanted to say to her about her house that I didn't say because I didn't want to offend her. I didn't want to mess up the possibility of a deal, no matter what it was, because there are some things that can be done. Let me look at this chat. There are some things that can be done. You have to send me a friend request, Nelson. I couldn't find you on Facebook, so send a friend request to Boundless Lola. Send a friend request to Boundless, BOUNDLESS Lola, and I will let you into the group. I didn't know what your email or what your Facebook thing was. So yeah, sorry, ma'am. So okay, so that. But then what did you see when we went driving? What did you learn? Did you learn any stuff when we went driving around looking at houses?
I noticed that I wasn't paying attention as much as I thought I was.
Right.
Because like you see, we pulled up to that property. I totally skipped that property. I mean, I have wrote down quite a few properties, but sometimes when you're driving and I've come to the point where, there's people behind me, I'm trying to slow the car down so I can write something down. But so you can really miss a lot. Yeah. And Lola was just finding out. I mean, we found like on that particular block,
right,
like at least houses. And at the end where those big houses were put up, that house that mess that was on the corner right there.
Mm-hmm. Right.
We know what that was. But her eye, she caught a lot of stuff. And I was like, wow, like it just made me think that, okay, I'm not as aware as I think I am.
Well, and because it takes time. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you think I've been doing this for 11 years. You know what I'm saying? So it takes and I'm one of those people who I don't believe in just kind of doing it. Like I go in. So there's things that I'll notice about an abandoned house that somebody who maybe have been doing it longer than me still don't recognize about abandoned houses, because I will dissect it. Like I said, what I started doing was comparing the houses that wasn't abandoned with the houses that were abandoned and just kind of making a checklist for myself of what was missing from the messed up house, right? So that next time I would start to pay attention. Hey, Natalie, go ahead. You raised your hand. I don't know what to do with you. Hold on, maybe I need to. Okay, I unmuted you, Natalie.
Okay, my question is, and I'm sorry, I may have missed some of this from before. When you're driving the higher end neighborhoods, you were saying you're still looking for the same things like the unkept lawns, the mailboxes without covers, or are we looking for something different? Because I mean, basically, I've been looking whether it's a high-end neighborhood or it's, a lower end on the scale of price-wise neighborhood. I've been looking for basically houses that look abandoned, that the grass or the bushes are overgrown. So I don't know if I misunderstood you when you were talking about driving the higher-end neighborhoods, are we not looking for those same things, or are we looking for, like, how do you tell the difference in a higher end neighborhood?
It's the same
I
thing.
thought-
No, I'm saying it's the same thing.
Okay.
It's the same. But this is what I want you guys to pay attention to. So the lawn is cut, right? But is it edged up around the steps? See, when you are into your lawn, and people who have lawns in nice houses are into their lawns. When somebody is cutting the lawn because it has to be maintained because the homeowners association knows that nobody lives in the house, nobody's edging up. When you cut your grass, right, you make sure that you're edging it up around the steps, around the bush,
Right.
around the edges. You don't have no stray pieces of grass sticking up. That's ugly. That's
Right.
not cute. You're not winning the homeowners association blue ribbon that year for your lawn if it looks like that, right? And so though the lawn may be cut, you can't just look at it and say the lawn is cut. You got to pay attention to how the lawn is cut. You got to pay attention to how the bushes are cut. For instance, in the neighborhood I was talking about, there's 2 houses, and this is a good way for you to tell. Most of the time, there are similar lawn treatments done in a neighborhood. So there may be 4 houses, 5 houses on that block that have a similar set of shrubs and all that kind of stuff. Then you got, because you always got the person who's trying to be the best lawn on the block. You always got that person. Then you got the middle of the road person. So look at the best silly stuff, y'all. I'm telling you, like one of the houses in my girlfriend's neighborhood, she could not believe that I knew that there was nobody living in that house. But it was because they had shrubs and they weren't like this, but they were high up over the basement window. So somebody had been cutting them, but they wouldn't take the time to cut them low enough, and it wasn't doing it often enough for it to be manicured well enough to not cover the friggin' windows downstairs in the basement, because that looked crazy. So those, I know this stuff sounds petty, but you got to know that this is the difference between you finding something and driving past it. You got to look at the details. Okay, so I'm not going to stay on lawns, but you got to look at the details. So that's one way. But Natalie, yes, you're looking for the same things, but you'll have to look a little harder in the upper scale neighborhoods because the HOA is doing its best to not let you know that that house is empty, because they don't want squatters moving in there. The HOA is doing its very level best to make sure that the house is okay. Another something crazy. On the side of the house, on a certain side of the house, I think that the sun does, I can't remember what side, the west or the east or the north or the south side of the house, moss or mildew will grow on the side of that house, on the siding, when nobody has been attending to that house on a regular basis. It'll look like blackish. When somebody lives in a house and they taking care of the house, that don't happen because they get a power washer and they take it down. Remember, lawn upkeep and house upkeep, it ain't just about your mortgage. You got to pay to maintain that blicky. So if you see a person's not paying to maintain their home, that means usually what? They have some financial problems. And they're not really paying attention to it, okay? So that's another way to go about just a lot of little things. You'll notice them though. Like, ma'am, from now on, ma'am, you'll notice things because I know you. So now you'll notice stuff that you never noticed before, for sure. Haywood, jump in for a minute. I hear some water running and I don't understand why. So I need to go find out what's going on.
Absolutely. And I was going to say, I want to jump in on this thing about the lawns, and you will, after a while, it'll become like autopilot. Because I've been doing this so long, 17 years, when we started on Tuesday was my 17th anniversary. I can actually look in a house now, just peep in the door, and I can cost it out from the smell, from the visual, what I see. And usually I'm about $5,000 or $10,000 in a margin of error. When I was talking when she was mentioning lawns, I don't want to beat a dead horse, but it's worth beating. Is that lawn manicured, or is it not consistent with everybody else? Because that'll be the difference. Should they just get a 42-cent stamped yellow letter? And I say yes, because a lot of times, like Lola said, that those people are going through some level of distress, and you might just come in there and just give them some advice on how to get over it, and might not get that deal for that particular house, but turn out that they might have another house that the reason why they're not being able to do their usual $175 a month on the lawn care they only could do $75 a month now. It's because they're helping out with the siblings on a family house that's located in a city somewhere that you can make a deal on. Or they might know somebody's got a house. So it's always worth extending yourself, even though that might not be a deal on that particular house, but that's another way of, really, it's a form of marketing. That's why y'all see I have hats. Everything I do has marketing on it. My shirts, everything. We buy how I'm in my car, everything. I have it on the back of my window, on the side of my doors, and I don't care that it's considered a nice car. It does not matter. I do marketing on everything. And even one yellow letter is marketing. So, and a little subtle difference will show you that these people are going through something. And in a minute, you guys, just from the sheer fact that you're doing it on a consistent basis, you'll see that you'll be able to, what's the difference? So, absolutely. And this whole idea that what Miriam and Lola did, the driving for dollars, I know everybody else is doing some level of the same kind of thing. I'm just mentioning them because they're the ones that are talking about it so far. But driving for dollars, even though it's the most crude way of marketing and finding deals, still one of the most sufficient. And then the next level, of course, is knocking on doors. Having a reason to be actually knocking on doors. Anybody got a comment on that? Like somebody was going to say something.
That was me.
Oh, go ahead, boss.
Well, you will. Over time, you'll learn how to do more and more stuff. Just get out there and do it. That's my point. I told you all of this so you would know, Deontay is my son, but I haven't, he's not watched me do this. I don't like but he's not my biological son, but he's my son. And so but he didn't grow up with me watching me do this. So he's learning it just like everybody else, but he's doing the damn thing. You know what I'm saying? Because he's getting out there. The key is, and Haywood said it's the most crude way, but I'm telling you, unless you're trying to launch a, high six-figure business in doing this, if you already got a gig you're doing and you okay with earning an extra $5,000-$10,000 a month, you can do it in your neighborhood. You just have to consistently go to look at these houses. Canessa's not on here tonight, but I don't think she is. Canessa, you on here? Who's that 202 person?
Yes, ma'am. I did. I called in late. Sorry.
Okay. No. I just want to make sure that you were there. So I did a video, and I think that God made it erase because I did a video in the group when I left Miriam about Fort Washington because I was so excited, and I was kind of calling you out in the video, Canessa, and I was saying that if you didn't get on your business, Lisa, you might have seen it before I erased it. Because what happened was I made a mistake and posted.
I didn't see it, but when I talked to you through Messenger the other night, you made it pretty clear.
Well, that's why I made it clear because I knew I had deleted the video because I had put the video in the wrong.
But no, it's cool. I respect it. I told my sister-in-law today. I told her I was like, I respect that about you. Like you like up front. Like if you don't jump on it, I will type of person. So hey, I respect that 100%.
No, I'm not playing with you, Shawty. It's real. I'm going to finish. And the thing is, in the video, what I was saying was, and this applies to everybody. Stop trying to go all the way over there. You know what I'm saying? To look for these deals. Look for them where you are. You can walk and look for them. You can drive and look for them. Miriam and I found so many. We was only on one block. We went down one street. Come on. So, and I know that's every neighborhood. It's just you don't pay attention to them before. It's just like, Haywood always calls it Haywood calls it the red car thing. Like until you get the pink Cadillac. Until you get the pink Cadillac, you don't never pay attention. You don't see no other pink Cadillacs. But once you get a pink Cadillac, everywhere you look, you see pink Cadillacs, right? And so now because you guys know what to look for, every time you go somewhere, you're going to get on people's last nerves. Say, wait, back up. I need to write this address down. Because that's what's going to happen to you, okay? So what I want to do now, Haywood, let me see. I want to go through what we call skip tracing because this is the next phase. We're doing this different than any other class that we've ever done. And I'm kind of letting you guys dictate the flow of the class, Okay, that might be a little risky, but I'm kind of letting you guys dictate the flow of the class. Maybe not based on everybody's movement, but based on the majority movement for what I'm hearing people say and what I'm seeing y'all do. And so your classmates will be able to learn through the experiences that people are already having. All right. And when I say that, I mean, so right now, a lot of people need to learn how to find absentee owners. So we about to talk about that. Okay. Because if you guys find stuff between now and the next class, it's more important to me that you find these absentee owners' addresses and you mail these letters out. Because then you'll start to get phone calls like Miriam did. Then we can work through the rest of it. I know the classes are not a gazillion weeks, but we're going to work through it. And I promise you, I will teach you about buyers, networking for buyers, all that kind of stuff. Pretty much, let me give you the secret sauce. The secret sauce is networking for buyers ain't much different than networking for sellers. Okay? A lot of the same behaviors and activities that you use for one, you're going to use for the other. That you can learn, I won't say a lot of different places because I definitely have special techniques that I use and Haywood and I use to do that. But I want to make sure you understand all the intricacies of how to find these absentee owners. I just finished having a conversation with another business partner of ours, Lance. And I was sharing with him how important, he understood how important that was. And he said that in his business now, he's stuck because he don't know how to do that. Right? He doesn't know how to do that. So because I know that, and because those guys, Lance and Lionel, are serious rehabbers, I'm gonna make sure that that's not a concern for you guys. Can you repeat what you said about condition of the house if the seller says, yeah, sure, Nelson. If the seller says the house is in excellent shape, you can bet that it's just in good shape. If he says or she says that it's in good shape, then it's in fair shape. And if he or she says that it's in fair shape, then it's in poor shape. And if they said it's in poor shape, poor means you'll fall through the floor. Okay? And we was almost at that with that house. Okay? For sure. We were almost at poor. So I'm going to give the example of the property that Miriam and I saw that she said that she didn't notice at first, but then she got it. We thought the address was 17 Notley, right? 17 Notley Road. I'm going to try to share my screen right now. I'll play the Jeopardy music. Do, 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 do. Wait a minute, I can't do that long. Let me see. Just give me a minute. Hold on a second.
Why not?
Huh?
Why you can't do the Jeopardy song for long?
Because I'm getting kind of old. I can't do both of those things at one time.
Oh, I see.
You understand? I would like to try, but I can't. Okay, so let me close this screen. I'll be right back, you guys. You can't see me right now. Anybody got any comments? Any questiones? Anything questions? I mean, let me stop saying like that. Anybody got any comments? Any questions? Anything particular y'all want to say while I'm trying to go into this here thing and open up?
I don't know if you want to go over the property that I found. Or if you just want to move on and I can ask my question at the end.
Definitely. No, yeah, we're going to go over it. Let's go over it. Haywood, listen while I'm doing this and begin with Natalie if I'm not back. Go ahead. Shoot, Natalie, shoot.
So I found this property. I went to the tax records to look it up. I saw it was foreclosed back in May of last year at a share sale, but it was purchased by the Secretary of Veterans Affairs. So how is it different that we would, well, one, is it really owned by them? That's what it's showing on the records, but would they really buy a property and still have it? And if they actually do still have this property, would I still send a yellow letter to them, a yellow notepad letter? Or how do you go about it when it's an actual agency that owns it as opposed to a person? Because if that's the case, they only bought it for $100 and the comps in the area are the low 300s, it seems to me like it would be a good deal. But I'm just questioning just because I don't know whether it's really what it seems.
Okay, so Natalie, you're saying that, I just want to clarify, right? I want to make sure everybody knows what you're saying. I want to make sure too. You're saying see house on TaxLink.
I'm sorry, say that again. You start breaking up.
I'm sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're saying that it's a tax lien property, and you can
No,
tell.
it was foreclosed.
Okay.
It was foreclosed. The sheriff got it in March of last year. It didn't sell at auction, but the Secretary of Veterans Affairs got it in May of last year for $100.
Okay, so really all that means is that they took the deed back. They did a deed. In order
Right.
for foreclosure to fulfill the process, the bank has to do. Well, you probably can explain it even better.
Yeah.
So they got it back, and it's showing on record though that they did it for $100, and $100
Right.
is just in the county registration or whatever. So that's what that $100 is a representation of. But yet
Right.
a yellow letter, it really doesn't make sense to send a yellow letter to any agency at all. The yellow letter works best with residents or persons, or a person, not an Autobot, and only because that's just what it's designed for. It's designed for it to work that way. But for an agency, it won't do you any good, because they still have to go by what they own it for now. Because the Veteran Affairs is the one that backed it up, which you already know. But for everybody that knows, if you get an FHA loan or VA loan, but that they backed it up with government insurance. Now they have it back, but they still have a finite, an X number that they need to get the house sold for. Now they could take short. They could take it short because, this is technical, but the money that they actually insured it for is invisible. So they could take a short, but they still want a finite number. They still have a finite number attached to that house that they want. Now, will that be a good deal? It could be. However, Natalie, they're not going to do what we're teaching you. They're not going to allow you to just give them $1, sign a contract, and then you can be able to take the contract over to somebody else and sell it, and then go through the title company and just do an assignment and to get an assignment fee. They're not going to let you do that.
Okay, and that was mainly what my question was. Can you still do these with, agencies, or is it really you're only going to be able to do a short sale with them?
Yeah, that's about all you're going to really be able to do. Look, if it's a good enough deal, Lola and I would be able to show you how to get what they call transitional funds. You want to write that down. So you want to bridge money of some sort in order to take you out, but you're going to have to go down as a deed. You're going to have to go down as on a record. You're going to have to be recorded as the person. So either you're going to come with your entity, or you're going to do it in your own name, and you're going to go down as the person that owns. So you're not going to be able to do this thing that we do, which is simply just
Right.
a contract and getting an assignment fee. You're going to go down. You're going to be on record for owning that house.
Okay.
So, but there's ways to do it. But you can get transaction funds that's going to cost you some money. Sometimes sometimes the hard money lender or whoever's providing the funds, they might charge you, just a flat fee. Some charge you a flat fee of $1,000. Some charge you just, a few hundred, just depending upon how much time their money is tied up.
Okay. So this is definitely not an ideal situation to start off with.
No, ma'am, not at all. Matter of fact, up to this day, I have not done one tax lien, tax certificate transaction at all. Somebody came to me the other day and was telling me about, they do transactions with tax liens and institutions, and I have not done one at all. And I know people that only done one, and then they ran from it, and then they do what I do. And the number one reason is because when you're dealing with an auction, or you're dealing with an institution, or you're dealing with banks or whoever, they want their money. They're not going for this thing that we do. They want their money, and they have you bound. And see, our contracts that everybody's going to get is going to be a contract that's got a weasel clause. I hate that term, but that's what it really means. You're going to be able to get it. If you don't come through for what unforeseen reason, you're going to be able to walk away. And when you go to the judge, they're going to say, okay, tell me the story. And you tell the story and say, Judge, this is my contract, da, da, da. and then he gonna say, all right, see you later. That's it. Now, of course, that's not what we want to happen, but when you're dealing with an institution, they're coming at you, but that's
Right.
not, they're not even coming at you. They want their money, and their situation is designed for them to get it. Or the $1,000 that you put up, you're gonna default on. And you know they don't put no money up. I mean, the most what you're gonna be doing is you're gonna be putting up a dollar or 10, and if you put up more than that, you need to find a way to talk to me and Lola. If you're out doing transactions on your own, you should. I kid you not. And Lola already told you her story, but I have my own story where I put up $100 as an earnest money deposit, and my mentor told me, "Don't do it. Don't ever do it." I didn't call him. I should have called him, but I didn't call him. But I gave the guy $100 earnest money deposit, and but that's an indication. If you got to put up more than $1 to $10, and everybody needs to hear me, and anybody that hears this again, if you put up more than $1 to $10, or if the seller is insisting that you put up more than $1 to $10, that means that's a dead on, spot on indication that he is not motivated. And that is your reason to stop. That's a red sign with STOP on it. Don't do the transaction. And you're gonna look, just like that little girl that bought that house, right? And I'm glad we're doing this early, right? And typically we don't do this early. But I'm glad we're doing this. We're doing live snapshots of deals live this early, because then you can learn from it. This girl was the victim of her own information, right? She's thinking, all right, the houses in this area sell for X. I'm buying it at X. I got a deal. She don't even have a clue. She don't have a formula to go by. She doesn't have an indicator to go by. She doesn't have stop gap losses or anything in place. So she's all giddy, and now 3 years later, she's no better off than she was then. Now, in some cases, what she would have been better off in is just sheer appreciation. But she's not even being applauded for that, because she's just in a stagnant area. Where she was in DC, she probably would have been able to benefit from the fact that she had the house, and even though she had spent $10,000 or $12,000 or $20,000 on materials, she probably still would have been able to benefit from the appreciation. But that's not the case in that area, even though it's an outside suburb of DC, and it's an outside suburb of mass construction for the casino that's coming there, that's on that water. So it's not gonna benefit her. And that's where the knowledge comes in at. But she was giddy. She took her cash, and that's what she's holding on. She's really holding on to her pride. That she paid $100,000, and however she got that money, she did it, and she's holding on to that.
And the deal with her is if she could afford to hold on to the house for a while, it would pay her. But she about to lose it. She lost the house already for $39, $100 in taxes. You know what I'm saying? She couldn't afford to hold on to it. And so if she could hold on to it for another 2 years, she'd be good as gold.
And the bottom line is that somebody's going to get that deal, but enough people, and Lola even said it, that she wished that her and Miriam had hit her in the head on site, right? And not gotten a little bit emotionally attached as well. But somebody's going to get that deal, and it might not be the person that hit her in the head and say, look, I'm going to be honest with you, you got suckered, and you just was boom. And then she's going to get her feelings hurt. She's going to cry, and she's going to say, oh, and she's going to be defensive, and she's going to stand, oh, you don't know what you're talking about, boom, boom, boom. And then the next guy's going to come, and she's going to say, you know what, that makes sense, of course. I was, and I got to take my losses now. Because then she has actually done what you guys are doing, but she did it a different way. That's called, she's got the University of Hard Knocks.
Well,
she don't
go ahead.
Go ahead. No, that's it. I don't got it.
The deal is that she did get her feelings hurt. That's one of the things that happened. She got her feelings hurt. And that's how Mim said you could tell she was emotionally attached because she got her feelings hurt. She really didn't want to talk to me no more after I told her that she paid too much for that house.
So look, this is the lesson. You, maybe not you or Miriam, but somebody else should come back, find a way to get in contact with that girl, maybe even me or another girl.
Hey, with Barbara. You know I've already taken care of that.
As a savior.
You know I've already taken care of that.
If it ain't me, right? Because I'll give all the out, and I'll do all the, the trial closes and everything. And if not, somebody else should come behind us, still on our team, and do the same thing. We put Lisa on it. Boom. Or an out-of-town investor, out-of-town number, and rope her in and say, look, I know what I'm doing. I've been doing this for years. Have the talk, boom, 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 boom. It's all scripted out, and then we do the same thing.
She's going to get a call tomorrow from somebody who she has no clue has anything to do with me. I'm not letting a day go by with the chance of missing out on being a part of that deal. She's about to get approached by somebody.
Know that as a strategy as well. Remember what the old term is in sales. Follow-up gets the
fortune is in the follow-up. The fortune is in the follow-up.
Every single time. Write that down.
And so, look, somebody is, and the person who's coming behind me leaves no mercy, none. The person who's coming behind me is going to squeeze that grape for everything he could get out of it because him don't care. All right. He is going after the jugular. He's done his homework. He's already prepped up his hard money and he is going after that deal. And guess who's still going to get paid for it anyway?
That's right, me.
So, yes, Haywood, us. And so you got to know, like Haywood said, there's more than one way to skin a cat. That's why you have to partner with people. People who the person doesn't link to you. Because I may look like the child's mama who didn't look after her. You understand what I'm saying? Because it was obvious that something.
Or the agent.
Right, or the agent. Or the agent who swindled her. There was something about me, to me clearly, that turned her in the other direction. And I don't know whether my energy said that it felt that I reminded her of somebody, and that did not work well for her. So you never know how people are going to respond to you. You never know. And so you have to factor that in. You never know how people are going to respond to you. So it's okay. The deal's still going to get done. And she has no clue, but I'm still going to get paid. And we'll keep it pushing. It's okay. And I mean, I'm not going to let the person straight snatch her by the throat because I'm still trying to monitor. She still did come to me. So I feel like I have a certain amount of responsibility in it. Because if I didn't, she probably would get next to nothing and feel good about it. You understand what I'm saying? But I'm not gonna let that happen. She's gonna be okay. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try to share my screen. Miriam and I.
Hey Lola, I got a quick question.
Who's that? Kanessa, go ahead.
Yeah. I was wondering, does the same thing apply when it comes to like real estate agents? Like I think it was Natalie that asked about filling the yellow notepad letters. How does that work when it comes to like real estate agents or, real estate agencies? Like a lot of properties that I went past have signs in the yards, but it's like real estate agencies. I know last time you said that you could contact them because maybe the property has been up for sale for a long time, but how does that work? Like what's the strategy for that?
Well, if you're going to the agent whose name is on the sign about the property, they're not going to tell you that the property's been on the market for a long time. So you need to partner up with the agent who becomes part of your team. And let me tell you who your team is. Your team is at least 3 reliable agents who can pull your comps. Okay, at least 3 reliable agents. Everybody write it down. Don't try to remember it. At least 3 reliable agents, right? You want to have a title company that you are familiar with and is familiar with you. Because sometimes deals will come up and you got to do them blickies quick, okay? You'll get something, you got to hurry up and handle it. You got somebody who wants to buy it real fast. You don't need to be going to a title company where they don't know you, you don't know them. They're looking at you crazy. Is she real or is he real? You need to get to know some title company folks, and maybe one day Natalie could share with us, if she gets a chance, what to look for in a good title company when you're working with attorneys. for real estate. You want to have, as we always say, you know, an accountant, a business advisor. You want to have a mentor. You guys have already got a mentor. You want to have a rehabber or somebody who's a contractor. So a contractor, a real estate agent, a title company that you're familiar with, and a contractor that you can trust and a, you know, that is going to tell you real stuff. And that's actually done something. I have a student down in Atlanta who, by the way, has yet to get on this call. I'm okay if he hears this and hears that I said it. And he took somebody into a property with him who professed to be a contractor, but gave brother all the wrong information about the house. Okay, he's down in Georgia. So you want to get somebody who you can rely on the numbers that they give you. What will happen after a while when it comes to costing out repairs, just so you know, even if you are interviewing a new contractor, and all these people you're going to interview the agent, right? To make sure that they are about being a partner with you in this. You want to interview the agent to say, if I bring you 5 deals a month, can we kind of, you know, work on if, because sometimes you'll get deals and you'll list it with an agent to sell them for you. Every now and again, we'll do that every now and again. So you want to work with them on the percentages that they usually charge if you're bringing them a lot of different houses to list. All right. You want to make sure you got an agent who understands that once you because everybody's looking for the buy-in for them, right? So why should I look up comps? Because that's what you need agents for, to look up the comps in the area. Zillow is nice and everything, but Zillow don't really pull comps. Okay. So find somebody you can partner up with as an agent that's going to pull your comps for you, meaning tell you what the property values are in the area and tell you what the average is, which is what the comps are for what the house's ARV is, after repair value. Remember that after repair value? Access to, and right, because you want them to have access to the multiple listings. You don't need it. You can find somebody who has access to it. There are different services that you can pay, but it still benefits you in the long run to have a relationship with these agents, because sometimes, like we talked about in the beginning, agents will become privy to pocket listings, right? And they'll put you on before they put it in the system so you can wholesale the deal. So you want to have agents in your life. So 3 agents, right? So if one is not available, you can call the other one. 3 folks to have on rotation. A contractor who you can trust, a title company who you've become familiar with and you know what their practices are. Can they do simultaneous closings? Do you need to have transitional monies in order to do a deal with them? Meaning, do you have to have a bridge loan or some kind of hard money for you to close the deal with the owner and then you to then go turn around and sell the deal to the buyer? So do you actually have to purchase that house with your hard money before you can complete that deal? But I'll send you guys a list of questions to ask title companies. Questions to ask title companies. Let me write that down. So a list of questions to ask title companies so you know whether or not you're dealing with the right title company. So you want to have a team, okay? Have a team. And if I was you, I'd have somebody that I partner up with that I'm doing this stuff with. You got to tell them everything you know, but that person will start to look for houses for you or with you. Because that's what, it was so much fun. I forgot how much fun it was to go out with somebody the other day. So you want to be able to create that if you can. Questions to ask. Okay, so you got that team, right? You got that team. Title companies. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna go. I do really want to show y'all this thing. Okay, so hey, did you have anything else to say before I show them how to go online and find people?
Nope, not yet.
Okay. All right, so I'm gonna try to share my screen. Don't laugh. Don't laugh. It don't turn out right. That's
Lola,
not right.
will this be something that you're gonna say? Because I can't see anything tonight.
I'm gonna say some of it, but you're gonna have to go back and watch it because you need, this is a visual situation for sure.
Okay.
But you'll be able to see it. Bam. Oops. I don't think that's right. That's where I am right now. Okay. All right. And then say share screen. All right. The first place I'm gonna go to is Google. Can y'all see my screen? Can y'all see my Google screen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to put in the address that we figured out that it was. Well, no,
Yeah.
I'm not. Okay. Yeah, well. So first thing what you do, you can put in the address, right? 15 Notley Road. See, it comes up already? 15 Notley Road, Fort Washington. It's about any address that you're looking for is going to come up in Google because it's in Google Maps, right? So 15 Notley Road. The reason why I have people do this is because when you're putting the address in and you're not quite sure and it's not coming up into the property records, you start to say to yourself, is it the same house? What house am I looking for, right? So you see there where it says Street View? Does everybody see where it says Street View? Y'all see what the hand is rolling around right there?
Yes.
All right. So you want to click on Street View. A lot of you probably already know this, but these are some of this is my process, right? When I'm trying to find out something. Or if somebody gives me the address to a house that I've never seen before, I can kind of almost, Melanie, we can hear you drinking your water, girl. We can hear you. Okay. So even if I, this is a way I've looked up properties recently for my client down in Atlanta, in Georgia, not Atlanta, because I do the Street View. It's moving slow because I got all this stuff open that I want to show you guys. So, right? And it's so cool. If you've never done this before, it's like the coolest thing ever, right? Because you can, let me see. Oh, I got to wait for it to finish loading. Okay, so see, I can like show y'all the house. See, that's the house. Isn't that something? You can actually see the house from there. So you can
That's the house that y'all, Miriam saw?
Yeah. My computer's moving really slow, but that's the house. So that's the house that we drove past. See, the lawn is cut, y'all. See how the lawn is cut? The lawn, hope I didn't go too far past. Okay, the lawn is cut. See, but see the vines growing over the front of the house like that? And the little mailboxes, everybody else got mailbox with a little flap on it. They don't have that. Now, if you could see in the backyard, I gotta see if it's ready for me. Okay, see, it says Notley Road down the middle, so you can see right there. The trees and stuff are not bad, but in the window, and I don't think I could get any closer. Okay, that's the front, solid front. But in the window, you see that? That's not a curtain, that's a sheet. Okay, that's a sheet. The yard, the side yard, I don't wanna, let's cooperate with me now, okay. So the side yard is pretty decent. It's not gonna show me the side yard, so I'm gonna stop doing that so it won't confuse the thing. So the side, but you can pull up any property like this. Now this came up because now I have the correct property. I didn't have the correct property before, so it was causing me blues. But let me show you how I found the correct how I found out what the number was. I'm not sure if this is the case in everybody's county or state, but this is the Maryland Department of Assessments and Taxation, okay? With the Maryland Department of Assessments and Taxation, you can come to this page, and if you Google it, I just Google Maryland property, Maryland taxes and assessment. I click Prince George's County, that's where the actual property is. And then I'm gonna click search method. So the search method I'm gonna use is the street address, right? So I click street address and then I click continue. Remember, if you're not in Maryland, this may not apply to you, okay? Okay, so it asked me for a street number. Well, we already knew the street number wasn't working because Miriam tried to look up 17 and I did too, and 17 wasn't coming up. So because I knew I had that wrong, what I did, and I know you can do this in parts of Virginia too, I typed in Notley, period. I didn't type, up here it says street number is required in this box. For you guys who can't see, it says street number is required. So you're supposed to type the number of the address number, and then in the bottom it says street name. Do not enter street name suffixes like avenue, street, and lane. Now in DC, you gotta put that. In DC, you gotta put the quadrant when you're looking it up, okay? But in Maryland, you don't have to. So then I'm clicking next, you guys who can't see. And what happens when you just put the street in is it brings up all of the houses on Notley Road. You see that? All of the houses on Notley Road. Now, I thought the house's number was 17. I looked up, and that's one thing I didn't say. What I did was I looked up, I'm gonna switch back over here to this screen. I looked up 16 as well, okay? So I couldn't find 17, so I knew that I had seen 16 because Miriam and I commented, we looked at 16 and said, oh, it was a nice house. So we looked up 16, and if you look up 16, it doesn't say that, but I figured once I looked that up and I found that, I said, okay, you know what? Then that house must be, it wasn't 17, and we saw 19, so I figured it must be 15. well, and like I said earlier, I don't know, those of you, some may not have heard me. I said I realized that there was a lot in between those two lots that we missed. Okay, so there was a lot in between those two lots that we missed. So I could see this house, which is 16, which is directly across the street from it. And at the end of this block, you all, what made this an interesting house to look at? So this is 16. So what made it an interesting house to look at, everybody, was at the end of the block. And if my computer was going faster, I could show y'all, but I don't know if it's going to cooperate. Let me see. At the end of this block, okay, there are 3 houses. Okay, I can do it. I'm going to go down this street. There are 3 houses at the end of this block that are over $500,000. Okay, that's what they sold for. See that one right there? That house sold for $510,000. And there's one right next to it that sold for, no, excuse me, that one's 510, that one at the end is 500. That's what those houses sold for. So what did that tell us? That told us that when the agent goes to pull the comps, they have to factor these sale prices into what the house value would be, because they're on the same block.
Hello.
Yes. Somebody said hello. Somebody got Tourette's. What's going on? Okay, and so I can't find one of my things because my screen is blocking. Can I move this? I want to move you. Can you move, please? Okay, there's another page that I wanted to open up and I can't see it right now. Okay, People Smart. So, well, once I got that, People Smart is one of the search engines that I use, right? So with People Smart, you can put in, say for instance, you have an address. So now I have an address. So I can do a couple of different things. Okay, no, let me go back. So in the Maryland property, come on, man. This thing is on my computer and it won't go away. And I wanted to go away so I could show y'all. Okay. So I'm gonna go back into Maryland property taxes. So I'm gonna click on 15. Here's 15 right here. And it's gonna open up the taxation record. So it tells me that David J. and Martha E. Sutton are the owners of that property. But it also has the mailing address the same as the premises address. So you say, what should I do? Well, this is what I do. I see that, so I know nobody lives in the house. Heck, the mailbox don't even have nothing on the cover of it now. What's probably possible is that people who were in the family at one time were coming around and taking the mail out. But now I just think it's been so long since anybody has lived there that nobody's doing that. So what I did was, this is the search engine that I use to find people sometime. It's called People Smart. I told y'all about that before, peoplesmart.com. So what I'm going to do is look up according to address, not name. And I'm going to put 15, well, I already looked it up, so it's coming up, 15 Notley Road, and I'm going to put Fort Washington, oops. Fort Washington, Maryland. And then I'm going to do search. My guess is that David and Martha's a pretty old name. Anybody know anybody 30 years old named Martha? I don't, okay? So Martha's typically a senior's name. I go by that kind of stuff too. I really paid attention. So when you look at this, you see a David Sutton that's in his late 60s, right? You see how do I make that go away? Okay, you see a David Sutton that's in his late 60s in Fort Washington, Maryland, right? So that's probably the person who owns the house. So but then look at this, possible relations, because the house is empty. It's showing the same mailing address as the premises address. So I don't know who to go to if I don't do this. So I'm gonna click this one because I believe that this is, you see Martha, David, and then
I never work on eDate, but I always get an 8-footer on time.
Everybody needs to mute their phones. I'm here. Somebody talking about some eDay and 8-footers. I don't know what that's about. So I'm gonna click on that one. When I click on that one for this, it's gonna open up and it's gonna show you a telephone number. Well, now we know that number is not any good because don't nobody live in the house, right? So what you do is you go down and you can look at the previous addresses of the person to find it, but these people are pretty senior, so I wouldn't go back that far. But what I am gonna look at, you guys, is the relatives. Right? So one of the relatives was a David Jerome Sutton. He was in his 30s. Martha's the wife. And if the person is deceased and it's been recorded, it will say deceased up on this file that I just opened. Next to the person's name and date of birth, it would have said deceased. But so these people are not deceased. So I'm not going to go off on a chase trying to see, they're not dead. So we don't need to look in that corner. But so what I'm going to do now is click on David Jerome. And I know this is long and drawn out, but I'm telling y'all, this is where the money is. Because if the comps in that area, because of those two houses at the end of the street, okay, David Jerome Sutton, because of those two houses at the end of the street, the comps are going to be somewhere, probably around $300,000. That house don't need that much fixing, and I will be willing to bet that because they've had the house since 1979, that there's no mortgage owing on it. So the thing is still spinning. David Jerome Sutton, and he has the same address there. So, but look at where he's been. He's been in California, right? See that address? He's been in California. Sometimes these addresses can be switched. These address dates can be messed up, and this would be the place the person lives now, not then. But when I click onto David Jerome Sutton, let's see if he's got a 540 number that I can call. Okay? He's got a 540 number that I can call to see whether or not he knows the whereabouts of his parents who own that house. The person that I found in this Miriam, just so you know, that I would think that we would call first, though, it's not Martha, it's not David, but it is, oh shoot, let me see. This girl, I think she comes up on here too. Not none of these people. Although these people are people that I will call, but the next person I'm gonna look at is Sharice Y. Kirk. She's in her 30s. I don't know if she married somebody and that's why her last name has changed, but she also has California addresses. San Marcos, California, which is the same place that David was living. So I'm guessing maybe this is David's wife, right? So I'm gonna get the telephone number if I can find one for Sharice and see whether or not I can find Sharice so I can contact her about these people who own this house in the Suttons and see whether or not she knows their whereabouts. See, there's a telephone number for her. Shows that she now lives in Escondido, California. That's her last known address. There's a telephone number. So you can call that telephone number. Cucamonga. This chick been in California for a long time. Okay. So I'm betting because David lived there too, because they're around the same age, that this is David's spouse. If it's not still David's spouse, then maybe once upon a time it was David's spouse. She also has a court record, but I'm not going to get up on her business like that right this minute. So that's information that you can write down. Now, because she has a very unusual name and she's a millennial, like some of the rest of y'all on the phone, I'm going to bet that I can find her on Facebook too. I'm just trying to show y'all all the places that you can go, right, to find people when you're looking for them. Everybody always thinks of the basic places. You got to think out the box to find people. With all of this information that I'm digging up on these people, man, we will find these people. We will find them, okay? So I'm going to look her up right now. Sharice Y. Kirk. Is that what that was, y'all? Nobody knows? Nobody not going to answer me?
Yeah, that's her.
Okay, Sharice Y. Kirk. Oh, well, so I'm going to try Sharice Sutton because Kirk didn't come up. And Melanie will tell you, we found somebody like this one day. I found a woman had a exercise studio, and I got on. Here goes Sharice Sutton in Marietta, California. Now, we know that lady was in California, so it's a possibility that this is that same woman. I'm not going to go all into that right now. I'm just saying that you have to go and look everywhere, okay? You got to dig. You got to look. So now, from doing this, we now have a couple of different telephone numbers. Oh, Jesus. See, the girl left me a message about the house. She said she didn't mean to offend me, y'all. She just need to get her taxes situated. Jesus. This is Sharice. This is Sharice Sutton, Rancho Cucamonga, California. Y'all remember seeing that address on there for her? So now I put in Sutton and not Kirk, but because the husband's name was Sutton. How much y'all want to bet that that's David Sutton? right there. I bet that's David Sutton. David Jerome Sutton, a 30-something-year-old. So these are different things that you can do and search through and find. And yes, it's a little creepy because you're getting into people's business, but I'm just telling y'all that sometimes you have to go through this to this extent in order to find the people that you're looking for. If the money is important to you, you will go to this extent to find the people that you're looking for. And it's just that simple. So it's a lot to do, but you develop a flow for it. You develop a process for it. And that is what you do in order to find who you're looking for. So People Smart, on the site, it will tell you that it doesn't have, that it costs either $19.99 or $25. If you call them, they'll tell you, and you complain about that, they'll tell you about a $9.95 plan. Okay? And that's what I did. They don't even advertise it on the website.
What you
So
mean?
Lola, will you send them a yellow letter?
Absolutely.
In California?
Mm-hmm.
You have the full address?
Yeah, the full address is on there for that person. If you click it, it'll give the full address.
Okay.
But because it is California, I'm gonna call every telephone number I have for every person that's in there. So I'm gonna see if I can find a different telephone number for David. I'm gonna go back on and look for David on Facebook too. Okay.
So you're gonna call first before you send. You're gonna try and contact them by phone before sending out a letter.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But I'm gonna do that because I'm Lola. Okay. You guys don't necessarily know what to say. So, Haywood and I can do that, but you can send a letter, and then once you get the answer to the letter, then we'll get on the phone with the person. Like what happened, you know what I'm saying? So we can do that, like when you called your person. So you don't have to call them, and I know calling can be kind of intimidating, so you don't have to call them, but it's a good idea once you get the hang of it. So when you know what to say, I don't want to wait. I know that Fort Washington is a hustling and bustling area, so I don't want to wait. I want to call now, and I want to find out if it's a good number or it's a bad number. And if it's, I'll put this with Miriam. I'm going to send a letter and I'm going to call. I'm going to do both. That's my rule of thumb now. I don't care if you do have a telephone number. As soon as you find the address and you think it's for them, send it out. And then you call. That way, if you call and you get busy, you don't neglect sending out the letter. Mm-hmm. So send out the letter and call. Any questions?
Yeah, you said complain on that company, peoplesearch.com. What do you mean by that?
No, don't complain. I don't mean like that. I just mean, oh man, it's $19.95. You don't have nothing cheaper than that? That costs a lot. Don't y'all have something else? And then they'll tell you, oh, well, we got this other thing. It's $9.95. Let me tell you the funny thing, Nelson, about the $9.95 one. It does more than the $25 one.
What?
That's the crazy thing about it. It does more than the 25. Because I said, so what's the difference? So then I said to the guy, I said, so basically this one is better. He said, well, we shouldn't probably say it like that. But the thing is, it gives me court records and it gives me everything else I wanted. And it's $10 cheaper than the other one. Well, $15 cheaper than the other one. So yeah, just call and say, you guys got any other plans? Somebody told me about what plan that you guys have for $9.99. I want that. So don't complain. Just say, somebody told me. Don't tell on me though. Somebody told me about a plan y'all have for $9.99. I want that. I want that. Terrence, you've been real quiet. You okay? Terrence? Mr. Rowe?
Good.
You good?
Yes, I'm here. I'm good.
All right, just making sure you okay. Elaine, you good? Elaine, you need me to unmute you? We're going to get you on here next week, I promise. Richard, you good? I'm going to assume that means, maybe y'all talking in the chat. Y'all incognito people. Yes, okay. Zillow comps aren't reliable. Zillow comps, they're not really comps. I mean, they are comps, but a lot of times Zillow's number is not right, okay? So a lot of times their numbers, what they call their zestimates, they're a little low, but they're not accurate. Driving for dollars. You look in good neighbors as well as bad. Not war zone. Yeah, you look everywhere. Wherever you are, that's where I want you to look. You can go outside of that space, but I still want you to look wherever you are. can you repeat what you said about the condition A? If you guys put stuff in this chat and I don't answer you, you better unmute your phone and say something because I forget to look in here. Can you repeat? And you, Nelson, you said a bunch of stuff. Can you repeat what you said about the condition of the house? Okay, I repeated that. Driving for dollars, yes, go everywhere. Zillow comps are okay, but you need to have real comps. So get an agent, make some friends. Don't be scared.
I thought you said last week that there are sites that you can go to pull comps. Were there any special sites that you can pull comps from?
You can pay for a service. You can't do it for free.
Oh,
So
okay.
Zillow is about the only site that I know that you can go and get kind of free comps. I say that kind of because they're not, you might be missing some stuff. Their numbers are not accurate. The listing something right, Elaine, that's right. Zillow, the numbers are not accurate and the listings sometimes don't even exist anymore. Absolutely, that's right. So you want to just, let me tell you something. Building relationships, and I haven't gone over the run principle, but maybe I'll do that tonight. Building relationships in this business is more important, and I've said that, guys, to you guys before. Building rapport is so unbelievably important. You want to network with agents because agents may lead you to deals. An agent may get a pocket listing that they come and tell you about before they list the property, so you can get a contract on the property. We can have somebody have a investor purchasing it before it even hits the market. So you want to be friends with, you want to make friends. That's what I say, get at least 3. And don't pick up one that ain't real busy, right? Not somebody who's doing nothing, but pick somebody who's not really busy. But then pick a couple of them who you see are hustlers and always got listings, because that means they definitely getting pocket listings that they can share with you. And make them like you. Take them some donuts, some candy, build rapport. Folks like food. All color folks like food. Even skinny girls like food. They eat it when you're not looking. So give everybody some donuts or something. You know what I'm saying? Some candy, some cakes, the pudding cakes. Everybody likes the lemon pudding cakes. Everybody like that, right? So,
Lola?
Yes, sir.
On that, the agent, I know you said you're going to send stuff to act for interview for the contractors. Can you also send us something to interview agents?
I'm going to tell you right now what you can say to agents. I need someone, hey, how you doing? I want you to be my partner in this. I'm a new investor, and I'm looking for some agents to partner up with so we can both make a whole lot of money. I'm looking for some agents. I'm looking for a good agent to partner up with who's hungry just like me so we can make a whole lot of money together. I'm going to look out for you. You're going to look out for me. Don't do too much talking because then they start asking you too many questions and y'all don't know the answers. So that's the bottom line. I'm looking for somebody, the agent to work with. And if it's a new agent, hey, I'm looking for somebody to grow with in this business. So you got your agent thing you do. I'm doing the investor thing. As far as from what I'm hearing, I can help you get more listings. Okay? So you want to talk to them about more listings. Maybe I can help because when I get properties, then if I need to sell them, then you'll be the person that I list them with because you helping me by pulling these comps for me. And get agents who know how to pull comps. Because some of them, I swear to you, it seems like they don't know how to pull comps. I don't really understand that, but it don't seem like they know how to pull comps. Now, listings in exchange for comps. Yeah, well, yeah. When and if you list the property, you gotta be careful about that. And then the other thing you'll do too is tell them, I deal with rehabbers all the time, so I'll put you on my preferred list of rehabbers. Preferred list for my rehabbers. So when I tell them about agents who can list their properties, you'll be one of the people that I refer them to. Don't say only person, because then when they find out you referred them to Susan down the hall, they're gonna say you was a liar. So you'll be on my preferred agents list. There are other ways to find properties besides driving for dollars. Yes, Mr. Barber.
I just wanted to mention while we were there, and this is going to be a part of Lola's run principle, but I wanted to touch on this now because and a lot of it is, and she'll talk about this too, is that the same way that you find sellers is the same way that you're going to be able to market to agents, market to your buyers, right? Your cash buyers, your landlords, rehabbers, and developers. But here, if you're going to the office of the agent, pick, like she said, pick 3, target them, say what you're going to say, then ask them, is it all right if I come by every now and then, or is it all right for me to come by? You come by and then you start bringing coffee and donuts, or just donuts. And then bring those donuts by, and then look, you start developing a relationship with other agents. And all you're doing is just simply telling them your story, right? Who you are, what you're doing, what you do. And remember, you talk from a standpoint of what we do around the nation, right? Targeting my particular geographical area is right here where you are. But we do this everywhere around the nation, especially you that have your accountability partner. And we do it here, we do it and we all do it together. So you want to do that. And then you get to talk to other people that's in the spot. And remember what Lola was talking about a little bit earlier about the skip tracing. This is what will separate you, separate the amateurs from the professionals, even though you are currently a newbie. So you will already separate yourself from other newbies, and quite frankly, even some mid-level investors, because they won't do this. A whole lot of investors only are picking the low-lying fruit. And me and Lola, what we like to do is we teach people to go after the low-lying fruit only for the teaching's sake, right? So we're going to teach you a lot of that. But when you want to do your deal, you want to accelerate your first deal, trust me, doing these things are the things that will separate you, the amateur. Thank you very much.
Thanks. No, that's true. They'll separate you from the amateur, and they will build you as the expert. And I want to say something. A lot of the things that you guys hear us say, the reason why we take so much time to explain to you and have conversation is because when you start getting in the trenches and you start going through these are the things that you're going to remember. If I give you bullet points and facts like that, you remember that stuff. But these conversations and these things, the way that we're choosing to explain it through stories and telling you and including you in what happened, you will, as you start to do this business, you will say to yourself, oh, that's what they were talking about. And you won't have to try to figure out what to say because you will have involved yourself in listening to that. Thanks, Elaine. I appreciate that. That you will have involved. That's why it's so important that you're really listening to what we're talking about. And it's also, for those of you guys who can't see us at all, it's important when you can see us because then it's like you sat down with your friends and you had a conversation. People learn better like that. So then when you're having a conversation with somebody else who is a client, who is a customer, who is a seller, who is a buyer, you feel like you've already had that conversation with them. Because we already see, this is the best way to learn this. Books and stuff, that does not teach this like that. Any of you guys who've been to some of them classes, you know you don't learn like that. That's just not how that goes. Let's see, somebody just asked me another question, I think. But
I am not a material.
Okay. All right. So what I was getting ready to say is that there are other ways to find properties. The 29 ways, but one of the other ways that we use is doing buying lists. Haywood knows a little bit more about lists than I do. I've never really purchased lists before. Because we put out signs and I drive for dollars. I'm gonna be real honest with y'all. But Haywood buys lists. He has actually purchased lists that we've utilized in our business, and at times we've shared the list with students and all kind of stuff like that. So Haywood, can you talk a little bit about buying lists from list brokers and stuff like that?
Yes, ma'am. And that is definitely the next level. And you guys, some of you guys know my story, right? It took me 5.5 months to do my first deal, and I made $6,700. I had to share it with my sister. So I did absolutely nothing. And I took my half and put $2,000 back into the business. And the way, I don't know if it actually came about that I got my second deal, which was a $10,000 deal. Both of these were in DC. But I invested in the $3,200 that I got from the split from my sister into the list. I took some and paid more education, and I took some and put into the list. So you can go get lists. There's list brokers want to, I'll put them into the Facebook group. But they're everywhere. And then you have mail. What is it, Lola? Mail2.com, right? So you can go in there. Once you get the list, you go to mail2.com, and then they will actually send out your postcards, mailers, yellow letters. They have it all now. Now, I mean, when I first started dealing with them, they didn't have nothing like this. You had to customize your own postcard. Now they got everything that everybody's done, and they put it up so that you can just put in your information, decide which one you want, click, and boom, and you can start selling, sending it out to yourself. Even though you might get a list of 5,000, 10,000, whatever it may be, you can segment it and just send out 20, 30, 500. And if you decide that you want to go to another level and just get, Lola mentioned this name the other day, Haynes Directory, so you can start just pulling your own list, which you can do. And then you start, you know, like you drive for dollars, and this is the cream, right? Because you just pick in zip code, and then you just upload it into mail2.com, and then you just send the postcard that you choose, or yellow letter that you choose, right to the area that you want to go to. Now I know that this is definitely a different level, right? Because we're talking about if you don't have money, we're starting off in presupposing that you don't have extra cash, and you're starting out from a raw standpoint. But if you do have one of those high-powered jobs, and I'm sure that some people will hear this, and they got, you know, they already make, you know, $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, and they got, you know, an extra grand a month to put into marketing. Or you set yourself up to do 2 or 3 deals, and then you start carving out a marketing budget. And so the deal is that direct mail is the ultimate key into your automation. Not when you're first starting out. Direct mail, however, is the direct key into your automation. And then you get a CRM, and you get yourself a database system and all that other kind of stuff. We might touch on that a little bit later, but that is where you want to go. So List Broker, absolutely. They're all over the place. I will give you my girl's name, and I'll put that in the group. And then you want to definitely make sure that you get with Mail2. I believe it's Mail2.com. I could be off. Y'all know I smoked bad pot when I was a Chino. No. Okay, I'll say. No. Take that. I didn't say. Note to the editor. Take that out. So, but anyway.
There's no editor. They all getting the link to just keep forever.
Right. And but don't listen to what I just said, because this is family though. But anyway, the point is that make sure you do it that way. Direct mail is the ultimate key, right? So if you're going to use Constant Contact or MailChimp and some kind of CRM system, Podium system, you can do that as well.
So you're saying that you will put those places to get the list, and as well as to mail out the list in the Facebook group?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm writing down list.
It's about my information, the knowledgeable things in life. These sneakers are.
I'm gonna send everybody everybody. I think whoever that was, mute your phone back out, because I could hear something in the TV in the background. I sent Miriam, but I'm gonna upload it in the group now. I sent Miriam the Motivated Seller script, and she used that. I'm gonna amend it a little bit, and then I'm gonna put it in the files. Oh, for all the new people, there is under the files are some of the things that you hear us talking about: the 29 ways, the letter writing campaign, the get started sheet. That's in there. If you watch the first video, it tells you about a lot of that stuff. Haywood and I are going to have to recreate the second class because I don't know what happened. I can't get off my computer, and the people at Zoom can't help me. So, Haywood, we're going to have to take some time and cover those topics. We were going according to the agenda that day, so we're going to have to take some time and go over that. I know the mail formula and a couple other things were in there, and the phrase that pays. So it's not going to be as elaborate But if you all have any questions, then just, ask me. We'll have all the contents. You just won't have all the sidebar discussion. And if I can find, I think I have I'm willing, if it's okay with Haywood, to actually upload or send to you guys an audio from another one of our classes that has all of that stuff on there too, just to kind of add to it, just to kind of give you extra. Let me see. So yeah, buying list. Oh, and then joining, the more people you talk to, learning. Okay, let me just go to the run principle and I'll deal with that because that's going to help. Like he said, the run principle takes care of the buyers and the sellers, right? So in the run principle, the R stands for rapport. The U stands for understanding the client. Now, your client is two people. Your client is your motivated seller and your client is your buyer. And then it goes for proper negotiating or negotiating appropriately. So building rapport tandemounts to being what I've done with every single one of you that is on here that I met and have not known for a long time. So I would wager to say that Kanessa, I never met you face to face. We just met online, but I'm sure that you don't feel like I'm a stranger. I know you don't. Mr. Black is not on here.
Nope, not at all.
Right. Natalie, I've never met Natalie face to face, but I know Natalie does not feel like I'm a stranger. Oh, hey, Trinae. How you doing? I hate to stop everything like that, but I see you popped in here, so I see you on mute, but I just want to say hello, and everybody knows you had a situation, so we all praying for you, and we hope that you are doing okay. We're glad that you showed up to represent. I know you're serious about your learning, so I'm glad you showed up, and we can talk offline, but we all praying for you, and you have our condolences for whatever you're going through right now, sis. We just want to let you know that we were thinking about you. We talked about you earlier. Everybody was saying that they was praying for you, so I hope that you're okay. And so I've built rapport with everybody on here. Some things come naturally to some people. It comes naturally to me. My best friend who was on here earlier, it's not really something that she does because she's a people person, but she's learned how to be a people person. So I know that you can learn how to build rapport with people based on and so for me, when I get on the phone with somebody and I'm talking to a motivated seller, I do not just get on the phone and say, okay, if they say, oh, my name is Lola and I'm calling you about your property and I just wanted to ask you, no. Okay. So I get on the phone with the person, hey, how you doing? Having a good day? And sometimes they're irritated and agitated when I first get on the phone, depending on what part of what region of the country they're from. If they're New Yorkers, they don't know why I'm talking to them. They want me to shut up and they want me to hurry up and ask my questions, right? If they're rich New Yorkers, typically they're nice because rich people are much nicer than broke people, just so y'all know, okay? For the most part, they just are because they're not mad because their pocket's not empty, so they talk to you nicer. Just saying. Okay, I'm sorry, man, but it's true. And so if they're from the South, they'll tell you about their kids, their grandkids. And sometimes Haywood has made fun of me because I will sit on the phone and listen to somebody just kind of go on and on and on and even dig deeper. So what you say your granddaughter's name is and how old is she? Ooh, and what school is she going to? And why am I doing that? Because I don't want them to feel like I'm just like the last person that called them about their house. Don't get it twisted. You're not the only person to ever call or contact these people about their property. If you think you are, then you should wake up. Just like if you think you're the only, no, don't say that, Lola. So you're not the only person that the person has ever talked to about their property. So because of that, you have to make an impression on who you are talking to, you guys. Make an impression. Make a positive impression. Ask them about their family. How many kids you got? Really? Wow, your wife, people will tell you, why is the house empty? Then they start to tell you why the house is empty. They start explaining to you, like this guy told me. I was on the phone with one of the students. Just so you know, after this class is over, there probably will never be a time that you could call me 5 years from now and ask me a simple question that I won't answer. I had a phone call today from somebody that I taught 10 years ago, Melanie, and Melanie Blythe, about a deal and what was she supposed to do. And in the middle of taping my show, I stopped and answered the question. Okay. So, because I want everybody to know what they're doing. I don't want you to get stuck. So when you're building rapport, I had a story with one of her people that I sat on the phone with this man, and he told me that he lived in the house with his wife. She died. He moved out the house. The house caught fire. Somebody threw a Molotov cocktail in the house. And the house caught fire. He had it repaired. I mean, it was just a long story. But I sat there and listened to the whole story. So by the time we got off the phone, he really felt like I was one of his grandkids. Okay? Because I sat there and I listened to the whole story. And you know, funny thing about me is I'm really interested. Okay? So if you're not interested and you really wish they just shut the hell up, you need to act like you're interested. Act as if. Yeah, really? Ooh, wow. What else? How old is she? How you spell that name? And write that stuff down. Because when you call them to follow up and they tell you little boo-boo Nene was in the hospital last week because she had her tonsils removed, when you call them back, guess what you want to ask before you ask about that daggone property? You want to ask how little boo-boo Nene is healing from her tonsils being removed. Now, you young people might think, yo, she tripping. No, you have to do that. That's what separates you from the idiots who are calling them, jumping into the telephone conversation about their property and not trying to see whether or not they on an IV before they start talking. Okay? So you need to inquire about that person, about their life, about how they feel about the house. Because remember about the emotional attachment. You need to know if that's what you're dealing with. He was attached to that old crazy house because that was the house he brought his wife home to after they got married. That was the house where he carried her over the threshold. And then that was the house where she died. So that was important to him. The house was half burned down on the inside, and the squatters had lived in it, pissed in it, everything, did crack in it. But that part wasn't important to him. What was important to him was that he carried his bride over the threshold in that house. Can you guys still hear me?
Yes.
Okay, because my thing is delayed, so I can't tell. So building rapport. All right. Understanding your client. I think I might have said this before, but I'm not going to go negotiate the same way with a millennial that I am with a baby boomer. You millennials are some special folks. So we got to get to the point with y'all. Okay.
Not too much now.
Yeah, we got to get to the point with y'all. We can't be messing around because we'll lose y'all attention. Y'all be playing video games and chasing Pokemon and all that stuff while we talking to y'all. Y'all know it's true. Now, not everybody, but I'm not talking about you all specifically. I'm just talking about in general. You have an agenda. And so when I get on the phone with you, I have to be direct. I'm still going to build rapport with you. I'm going to mess around with you a little bit. When somebody talks to me on the telephone, they can never tell how old I am. Because you're not supposed to be able to tell how old I am. Nobody ever guesses that I'm almost 50 years old when I talk to them on the telephone. Not ever. Because that's not how I talk. That's not how I relate to people. And when I'm talking to one of y'all, you're really not going to know. Okay? Because I'm a master how you talk. I'm mirroring you. So understanding your client means you mirror how they talk. If your client is talking fast, then you talk fast with them. Because if you don't, you're going to get on their nerves. If your client is talking slow, then you talk slow with them because then you become a city slicker, a fast talker. You're trying to trick them. Okay? So you have got to match what they're doing. I'm telling y'all, this stuff right here, this is what makes a difference. I have talked to people and got houses for them for less money than somebody else offered them because they liked me. So this is money in your pocket. Hey, would you want to add to that?
No, this is so real. And look, and Lola's right. I've laughed at her, but I'm not really laughing at her, but I've laughed at her. But in the car business, y'all know that I spent 20 years in the car business before actually starting this. And the deal is, we used to always say, I was in management before I got out, and we would always ask the salesman, how much time you spend, what time did you, matter of fact, we even had a log. Some dealerships that I worked, we had a log, and when they initially got with the buyer, and then when they turned them over, or when they came to the desk, so to speak, to start negotiating. I wanted to know how long you've been out on the lot. And Lola has actually transferred that into into this business and how much you spend on the phone. So, and she's right. Some people just don't want. They just want to know what's about online. You know, New Yorkers, especially all the people that I've trained from New York, they don't understand why would you spend that much time on the phone. Why don't you just get down to it? Get down. But the deal is that a lot of people around the country, remember, New York is a microcosm of the world. You know, and they their own entity in itself. But people around the world, they want to know who people do business with, people that they know, like, and trust. So get them to know, like, and trust you. But be able to tell who wants to get massaged like that, because not everybody wants to be. But trust me, your antennas will be up in this business, and when your antennas are up, you'll be able to decipher which person who wants to go through that and who wants to talk to you like that.
Yeah, Natalie's person hung up the phone on us. Right, Natalie? Remember he hung up the phone on us? Your dude? I forget what his name is, but he hung up the phone on us because he didn't want to hear nothing else we had to say. And I've been hung up on before. I called the guy not too long ago in Manhattan about a property that was in Baltimore, and he was a fast-talking young guy in Manhattan. He ain't had no time. But you know what else that told me? He wasn't motivated. Oh, Richard, I saw your face for a minute. He was not motivated. When people are rude to you on the phone and they hurry up and rush you off the phone, they're not motivated. When they need you, they'll sit and listen to what you have to say because they need your help. That's the other indicator for whether or not the person is motivated. If they talking over you and you ain't motivated, you don't need my help. If you did, you'd shut up long enough to, and I don't have a problem with going toe to toe with people on the phone either. So if I get on the phone with somebody and they start talking to me crazy, because I don't have nothing to lose once I keep trying to talk to them nice. Some people need, like I said, mirror. Some people need you. You get on the phone with somebody who's talking to you real direct. If you start talking like this, they're going to eat you alive. Okay? So you got to talk direct too. You have to be firm in what you say too. All right? So you got to remember that when you talk to these people on telephone. Understand who you're dealing with. With a baby boomer, you could talk slow. With a younger person, they want to go fast. They may even need help, but they still want to know the facts fast. What you talking about? What you talking about? What you got? What you got? That's how they're talking to you. Okay? And then negotiate appropriately. So once you figure out who you're talking to, if you're talking to somebody who, you got to listen. What they say, you got 2 ears and 1 mouth because you're supposed to listen twice as much as you talk. I don't know if I follow that rule all the time, but that's what they say. So I do that when I'm doing my negotiating because I have to listen. And they'll tell you why they got to sell, why they don't want to sell. And you have to listen to that. It's family stuff. It's emotional. So when you start talking to them again, or when in the conversation, you know where to go. If I know money's not really that important to you and you have an emotional attachment, but I know that the house is wearing on you because you got to keep paying these taxes and all that kind of stuff, then I'm talking to you about relieving your stress and your pain. If I know you got to keep going in that house and replacing the windows and the doors because folks keep knocking them out so they can go and sleep in there, then I'm talking to you about that. I'm dealing with your pain. I'm saying, man, I know you 70 years old, you 65, you got to keep going replacing it. Do you have to pay somebody every time? Mr. Johnson, do you really have to pay somebody every time to go replace? That must be that's just weighing on you. And they'll tell you, yeah, it is. This is driving me crazy. You say, well, look, you know what? I'm here to help you. I really want to help you. And you got to tell people that, but you got to mean it. You know what I'm saying? I really want to help you. That's why what happened with that girl was irritating to me because I just wanted to help the girl. Because I don't think she's going to get nothing out of it, really. So at this particular point, it was just about me trying to help her get some money in her pocket. If I could pull out a couple of dollars, that was fine. But even if I couldn't, I used to be her, okay? So I needed to be helping her. So you have to go into every conversation knowing that the outcome will more than likely be that you're going to get a check, but you have to listen to that person like there's somebody that you care about. So listen to what they're saying so you can handle that in the conversation so you will know what to negotiate from. If it's a young person who made a bad buy and they just want to get out of it, or they want to go they buying their own first house or they going on a vacation and you hear them telling you that stuff, I'm just trying to get some money. You know where to go in there with them. You're not talking about sentiment. You're not talking about feeling stuff because they don't care about that. They just want to get rid of the house. So find out what the bottom line numbers are. laugh at them, talk about a little bit, talk about some current events, and keep it pushing. All right. So you want to negotiate based on who you're talking to. Completely different with an older person and a younger person. Completely different with somebody who's not motivated. I don't stay on the phone long with motivated sellers. I just don't. And sometimes students don't. If you ever get on the phone with me and you see I get off the phone really quickly and you sitting there going, well, wait a minute. It's because I know it wasn't a motivated seller, and us sitting there keep talking to that person is just a waste of energy. The guy that Miriam talked to the other day, he was not motivated. First of all, he was a doctor.
Talking real fast. He was talking real fast. And I kind of felt like he may have kind of chewed me up a little bit. Like he was like talking over me and talking, like, make me an offer. Like,
motivated sellers don't say, make me an offer. They say, what can you do to help me? They say, what can you do to help me? How can you get me out of this? They don't say make, and he did, but that was your first time on the phone. So the fact that you didn't go, oh, sorry, and hang up, it's phenomenal. That you got out all the information that you got out is amazing, because most people don't. They get scared and they hang up the phone. But remember this. Y'all listen, remember, write this down. They can't punch you in your face through the phone. They can't bite you. They can't fight you through the phone. They can't. I know we got virtual stuff going on, but even with the virtual stuff, they can't hurt you through the phone. So you get to finish your sentence, unless they hang up the phone like Natalie's guy. He hung up the phone on us. So if they hang up the phone on you, you can't keep talking. But if they let you talk, get it out. And if they start rushing you, no, the first thing you have to ask, let me say this. We're going to do a call. Hey, we're going to do the call like live, like making believe.
Today?
I'm just asking, are we going to do
it? Nah. You need to get me fresh.
No. I'm not asking if we're going to do it today. I'm saying we're going to do it live, or we're going to put it in the group. What are we going to do? We're going to do it live?
Whatever you think is, I don't care. I mean, this is our routine. I mean, we should also give them one or two that we've done before.
Okay, so we have a recording, which is a motivated seller call recording, where you can hear a bunch of them that were done. So we have that one recording. So if I can find the download for that, then I'll put it in the group, and then we can listen. Y'all can listen to that. I'll upload the file. Then you can listen to that. But when we do the call, you'll hear how we go in. You gotta ask first and foremost, is this a good time for you to talk? See, if you don't ask that, even if it is, they can always tell you that it's not, to get you off the phone. So your first question is, are you busy? Is it a good time for you to have this conversation? And they want to know, who are you? These are just things that happen. They remember, they're going to ask you, who are you and why do you even know my business? Like, where'd you get my personal information? You could tell them, well, it was in public records. And then I Googled you. You're not stalking. But I'm calling because I'm going to see if I can help you, because that house is just sitting there. The neighbors are mad at you. Did you know the neighbors were trying to do a petition because your house is an eyesore? Did you know that? Well, no. Well, yeah. It's a bit much, and they're not happy. So you know how maybe before they used to keep the lawn up. I don't think they're going to keep keeping the lawn up for you, because I think they're okay with you getting citations. I do. That's pain. Don't nobody want that. And I usually will only say something like that to somebody who's semi being an idiot. Sorry to say another word. But I only say that to somebody who's semi being a jerk. The other people you don't have to say that to, so you can just kind of go through the script. Miriam had the script. And I'll go through it right now. But I know y'all start.
He didn't even let me go through the script. He was talking so fast. He wouldn't even, I was looking at the script like, okay, because this is going too fast. When I said, is this a good time to talk? He said, yeah, you got me on the phone, right?
Hey, but look, let me tell you something, Miriam. With all jokes aside, I want everybody to hear this. Had it out and you did it, it speaks volumes. That's what's more important. Because yeah, I know. Well, all right. It almost like you was on a highway and, the cars were just like zoom, zoom, zoom. I know. I already know. Because everybody's is different, but everybody's has that level of magnitude. It always seems like we have one too. Hey, Lola, we have to see if we can get what little sister on hers. I mean, it's probably almost 9 years old.
But
Now,
it is hilarious, and it's especially hilarious because of what she ended up doing. She ended up being the student of all time who got the most properties under contract. And in the beginning, when you hear her get on the phone, she sound like you say you felt, Miriam, like you got hit by a Mack truck. Cause dude was, but you could hear it in the beginning. You could hear that she didn't know what to do. She didn't know what to say. She was like, they were bowling her over. But after a while, she learned what to do and she learned what to say. And so it wasn't like that no more. But in the beginning, that's just what it is. That's why I still celebrate you, because you got on the phone and you got out a lot of information, Miriam. You got out a lot of information. So don't believe the hype. You did the thing. Don't believe that. I'm on here looking now. Hey, you could go over some more, just talk a little bit more about that if you want to. I'm trying to find it, you guys, so I can put it in the group right now.
And the fact is that most people won't do it. I mean, most people, I bet most people won't understand this, right? But just indulge me for a second. People always say their intentions, right? They talk about what they're going to do, how much they this, they're going to do that, and they're going to roll with this, they're going to do this. And they got a list. I mean, just a long list of their goners. And how much do you guys know what the percentage is of the people that actually go and do? So the people have intentions, they want to do this, they're going to do this, they're going to do this, and they talk about it, and they say, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to put it together, I got a date, and that. Do you know what the percentage is of the people that actually step off the ledge? Anybody? I don't care. If somebody while Lola's doing that, let's just play this little game. Anybody know what the percentage is? Say it again. 5%. All right, that's the number. Okay, so I got you. Who else got a number? 10. Dante says 10%. Anybody else got a number? And both of those numbers are wrong, incidentally. But anybody else got a number?
I say less than 10%. Maybe about 3.
Okay, that's a good number, but that's wrong. But 4%, 20%. Anybody? Dante changed his number. Went to 2. Richard.
Deontay.
Okay.
I say 15%.
Okay, that's a good number. That's a great number. All right, so look, y'all are all wrong. It is actually less than 0.5%. Less than 0.5%. And if I'm not, and I do this, I do this from stage, and I ask, and I get everybody to say a number, and I write it on a board, right? I write it on a board. I write everybody, and I don't ever say that was wrong, this is wrong. I just put all the numbers on the board because everybody is all over the place. Some people say, no, 89% of the people actually do it. But it's less than 1% of 1%. That's how low it is. Most people don't ever get out of the way. Most people never step off the curb.
That's crazy.
So the fact is that this is why we're unique. So to draw the conclusion, this is the conclusion. The fact is that y'all are on the line. That's great. See, this is what I teach too. You stack your successes and you put the brick in the mortar and you stack yourself and you get a big foundation. So you're always looking for base hits. Base hits are better than home runs. But the only way to get the home runs is to be swinging. Right? The intent always is to go for the home run. But I just need you to get off the curb. So every single thing that we say, and if you notice, that's what we're doing. See, one of my mentors, George Halsey, right? Lola actually met them. I never met them. But George Halsey and Ruth Halsey was in Amway back when I got in, when I was 21 years old. Lola met them when she was 18. And he said that he was a shy man. He was a triple diamond. When he died, he was a triple diamond in Amway. And I know some of you might feel one way or another about multi-level marketing. I love it because it taught me how to think about business above all things that it did for me. But more than anything, he said he was a shy man. And Amway was hard 35, 45, 50 years ago. And he told me inch by inch, it's the cinch. Inch by inch, it's a cinch. So all I need you to do is just get off the curb. So all these little things that we're telling you to do today have been mostly practical application. right? Practical application. I want you to move, right? Move. It took me 5.5 months to do my first deal. And then after a minute, I was teaching people how to get their first deal in 35, 40 days. And that's what I'm just saying. And all it was practical application. Inch by inch, it's a cinch. Inch by inch, it's a cinch. Just keep thinking that. George Halsey, out of Greensboro, North Carolina, right, Lola?
Yeah. And I met him when I was 8.
Yeah, so a very shy African-American man, very shy. Inch by inch, it's a cinch. She met him when she was 8 years old. This man was, and when you got to understand, you just got to put it in context. Amway, 45 years ago, I'm assuming, right? She met him when she was 8. So yeah, so he made his achievements 45, 50 years ago. By the time she met him, he was already a success. I think he might have been a diamond or a double diamond by the time.
He was a diamond.
And he left this earth as a double diamond. As far as she knows, Lola said that she thinks that his wife is still alive.
No, she is. Miss Ruth is still alive.
Yeah, inch by inch, it's a cinch.
Okay, I'm uploading the script in here now, so you guys will be able to have access to it. So, and the reason why I'm doing that is because I know that as you send, like Miriam got calls back real fast. So as you send out these letters, you're going to get calls back. And if you can't grab me to tell you exactly what to say, I want you to know what to say. And
I got another one today too, Lola.
Oh, you did? Oh, wow.
I got another one today.
Well, that's all right then. Well, you got a little practice already.
Because he asked me to call back tomorrow after lunch.
Okay, because did your voicemail say the best time to contact you?
Yep.
See, and I asked that for a reason because, we tell people to do things sometimes and you guys think that we telling you to do them because we don't have nothing else to say. But the reason for that is now Miriam doesn't have to keep calling him over and over again, trying to guess when is a good time to get him on the phone because he told her. Okay? When to call her, when to call him. So now she knows what time she can get on the telephone and give him a call. I want to ask a question and then we're going to start wrapping up. But I do want to ask a question. I want to know for the people on the phone who I didn't, because I want y'all posting. Deontay posted his pictures. I posted what one of the houses that Miriam and I had seen. Natalie, messaged me about her situation, and she's been messaging me nonstop. Melanie, I talked to about it, but I appreciate that because I know that y'all are breathing. See, when I don't hear y'all for a couple of days, I start going, what are they doing? Most of y'all did not send me what your business name was. Some of y'all did, but everybody didn't do that. What you intended on calling it and all of that kind of stuff. I want to know how many people sat down and set up how many hours a week they're going to contribute to their business. Who wrote that down on paper? Them people who I can't see, you need to put it in the chat. I know you did. Put your hand down, Natalie. So Tony, every day. What does that mean? What does that mean? You're not going to do it every day. And the reason why I don't want you to say every day is because this is what happens. When we make a commitment like that, life gets in the way. So then when you only do it 3 days a week, you feel like you failed because you didn't keep your promise to yourself. See, what happens to us most of the time is we don't keep Bellstar. I like that, Nelson. We don't keep our promises to ourselves and we condemn ourselves internally. So when the next day goes by and you still didn't do anything, you be like, damn, I said I was going to do this every day. By the end of the week, you feel like a big fat goose egg because you didn't do none of the stuff you said you was going to do. So just come up with certain days. Don't overdo it. And I'm the person who don't work out for a year and then goes to the gym and try to keep up with the Zumba class. That's me, right? And then be hurt. You can laugh, Haywood, and then be hurt, broke up, can't move, can't walk, can't breathe because I'm so broke up because I'm going to keep up, okay? But I'm going to kill myself doing it. So then what happens, you guys? Then I can't go back the next day because I can't move, all right? So don't do that with this. Set some realistic goals. So I said I thought that everybody should be able to contribute at least 2 hours a day. Don't listen to me. Write down what you think works, but commit to that time. So if it's 2 hours every other day, write it down. Write it down. Make it plain. Write it down. Make it plain. Okay? I tell y'all what, when you talk about the word don't just, when they talk about the word, it's not just the words in the Bible. It's all words that you write down. That's how you make it plain. You write it down. Okay? So write it down, y'all. Everybody. Everybody's typing me, telling me something. What y'all telling me? Okay, Elaine. Omni Realty Services, 12 to 15 hours a week, Terrence. Okay, that's hefty, my brother. I'm not gonna call you out if you don't see. I don't have to call anybody else. They don't do it. Your letters and what shows up is gonna tell on you. I don't have to say anything. So 12 to 15 hours is big. That's huge. That's a lot to start off with. But if you feel like you're going to stick to it, go ahead. But if you find that you're having a difficult time doing that, then literally sit down and cross out the 12 to 15 hours and write a new goal so that your spirit and your mind is committed to the new goal and you're not beating yourself up about the old goal. Okay? Because that's what we do. That's how we fail faster than anything else, is that we make promises to ourselves and then we don't keep them and then we feel bad and then we just don't do anything.
Exactly. That's a fact.
8 hours. Okay, that's cool. 8 hours. That's a couple of hours a day. Well, that's actually 8 hours a week. Yeah, okay, right. That's a couple of hours a day. That's not 2 hours a day, but it's a couple. So that's good. An hour and a half a day or whatever. That's good. I think that's great. To say 2 hours a day, 2 hours, 3 days a week, whatever, I think that's good. I think that's good. So write it down and send it to me. We'll post it in the group, whichever one you bad and bold enough to do. Write it down, email it to me, message it to me, or post it in the group so I know what you're doing. Everybody, though. Everybody. And the first person, not Natalie, because I know she's already done it, but the first person who sends me their committed goals, I will do a call with you with your motivated seller. That's not free. You know that costs money? That's not included in your training. So the first person who gets that down on paper and sends it to me, matter of fact, the first 3 people who write that down, commit that goal, write it down and send it to me, email it to me, you now have me to do one call with the motivated seller with you. Okay? Yes, sir.
Oh, sorry.
Who was that?
You said write down our goals.
Your work goals. So write down what your production goals. Well, how many, like how you said, how many hours a week are you going to commit to your business?
Right.
Yeah. First person who sends that to me. Not just talking about it, not thinking about it, letting it roll around in your head, but putting it down, typing it down. And matter of fact, I don't want you to send it to me in the email like you typed it. I want you to take a picture of the paper that you wrote down your goals on and send that to me. My son is like,
oh, Lola, why'd you have to say that? I was already going to do that.
Okay, good, because that's what I want. That shows me. You can type anything in a message and send it to me. That don't mean you wrote it down.
Exactly. So I thought to myself, I'm going to do the piece of paper and screenshot it.
That's good. I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for it for everybody.
The one that you put up on your refrigerator, up or on your mirror in your bathroom, somewhere that you're going to see it, so it's looking at you in your face every day. It's as a reminder.
Okay, you guys. So I've been asking for that for two weeks, though. Yes, ma'am.
I wasn't doing anything.
Yes, Natalie.
Can I just express a little frustration I'm having right now?
Absolutely. This is the place for it.
I don't know if anybody else is running into it. It seems like the majority of the properties that I'm finding are foreclosed. The bank owns them. And I know we're not dealing with those because those are a little tougher to deal with initially. But is there any way, and obviously there probably isn't, to just kind of look at something and say that's probably a foreclosed bank-owned property? Because I'm really getting frustrated when I'm looking. I think I have great properties, and then I go look them up just to find out they were foreclosed.
Well, I'll throw in, and then Haywood, you can throw in. Don't allow yourself to be frustrated. You are learning, and it's all about numbers. But if you get extremely frustrated, then you can buy lists, or you can get with a real estate agent who will pull expires or withdrawals. for you, okay? And then you can contact those people. You can mail to those people, right? But every house that you look at, if you do your work, if you do homework on it, it's training you. It's getting you into the habit of doing that research. So it's never for naught. You know what I'm saying? The numbers that you go through is what's going to help you get better. But I said this before. I think the people who have the most success are the ones who have to go through all of the houses. I just think they are, because you're going to learn more. If that's the case, you're going to learn more about researching that than anybody else, about finding out the owner and the this and the that than anybody else, if that's your reality. However, you can buy lists, and that will take you away from the foreclosures, but it's going to give you another issue. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, it's always going to be something. The reason why we can make $10, $15, $20, $30,000 a pop, more than that on these deals, is because we got to put in the work, and because it is about the numbers. It's about volume. Haywood, what would you say?
No, absolutely. And I mean, really, Lola hit it on all the different fronts. You know, you can dodge it, but you're going to have to deal with it at some point. In order to be, remember that we are what they call transaction engineers. And we get to see, we start you out on this one front, which is just simply putting houses under contract and one way to get them done. But you're going to have to go through the varying ways that deals come to you in just order to be good at it. And you're going to have to do, if it's foreclosures that you're coming into that's hitting you, then you're going to have to go a different angle and go around it in order to get those deals, maybe even become a pre-foreclosure specialist. And then in doing that is some of the ways of the 29 ways, which is, you know, signs on poles, yellow letters, doing what Miriam's been doing. And the reason why Miriam is getting the calls right now everybody else is going to catch up at one point if they start implementing some of the things. Like I said, I think that driving for dollars is one of the crudest ways, but it turns out to be one of the best ways. Like right now, most people don't want to knock on doors, right? Because they fill in the low-lying fruit. But guess what? The knocking on doors always bears the sweeter deals. Now they're the harder ones because it's just by nature we don't want to knock on doors. Lola's different.
I do it, but I don't like doing it.
But for her, it's almost nothing. You know, and look, and if she don't like it, I don't know. Because when I'm with her, she's like, "Hey, dude, what are you doing? Knock on the door." And you know, so.
Well, I mean, I know that it's necessary. If I'm going to take the time to go and check out a property, and I'm there, there's no way I'm not going to knock on the door.
Right.
Okay. If there's a garbage guy, sanitation guy who drives past me, or a mail truck, there's no way I'm not going to accost that person and ask them the question. Because if I'm there, I might as well just ask the questions. Knocking on.
Did we narrow down though, Natalie? I just want to make sure. I don't want to talk past what you're trying to get.
Yeah, no, you answered it, and I definitely feel like I'm learning a lot just by having to do so much research. You know, find out if there's mortgages just to find out that it's foreclosed. So that I'm grateful for, because it really is honing my research skills. But it's kind of like, I feel like, man, now I don't have anybody to send a letter to. So I go to the next one on my list just to kind of come across the same situation. I just want to get to a point where I can send a bunch of letters out so I can get calls. But I know that this whole process, I'm still learning. It's just frustrating because I feel like I'm not really making progress in the way I want to, although I know the learning process is still progress.
Yeah,
that's right.
I mean, keep doing it. Switch up neighborhoods. You know what I'm saying? Switch up places. Do that kind of stuff to kind of mix it up for yourself. I want you networking with those probate attorneys though. You know.
Yeah, I know.
You have an upper hand on everybody.
Things that we don't want to do that will provide you the sweetest juice. And look, let me explain something. Most people, I don't care where you go in the industry, they will tell you right now that the probate is going to be your best bang. And they're not that many, but that's going to be the sought after ones, but it's hard to find them. There's no doubt about it. But, you know, it's the deal. And Lola, we probably should do a one-day class somewhere on probate because, I mean, you know, it's definitely the way to go. It's like where pre-foreclosure was 17 years ago when I first got in.
I just had a question from some.
Go ahead. I'm sorry,
I had a
Lily.
question from somebody, and I'm not gonna say who asked me the question. 1 second, Lise. I'm not gonna say who asked me the question, but the answer. Somebody asked me if they could just tell me theirs. No.
Tell you that what?
Their hours, their time that they were gonna commit to doing the business, and I said no, you can't. If you have a limitation in how you can get the information to me, then you got to find a way to work around that limitation. Because one of the reasons why I don't say yes, okay to everything that you guys ask me, and I ask you to figure it out, is because this is a business that requires you figuring out a better way to get what you need. Right. And through me making some things not laying down for them, it builds that muscle. For somebody telling you no, and then you still go ahead and figure it out. It's not. I could give you the answer to everything. You know what I'm saying? I could type up a whole bunch of stuff or have the assistant type up a whole bunch of stuff and put it in there, but I'm not doing that because then you don't learn it because I'm just giving it. So when you ask me, I know that though you may not have internet access right now, there's still a way for you to make that happen. You can send it through your phone, take a picture with your phone and send it through your phone and post it on Facebook if you can do that. You can go to the library. There's ways to make it happen. So I'm sorry, and I might sound like I'm the Wicked Witch of the West, but the answer is no. If you want that call with me, you got to send me the information that I asked in the way that I send it. Or maybe next time when I put another bonus out there, you'll be able to do it and you'll get the call that way. Okay? But I can't do that because then I'd have to do it for everybody. Yes, Miss Lisa.
Yes. I know one of the assignments from last week was to go to a meetup.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
And I was able to go to one on Thursday. And, I was surprised because I thought it was going to be like networking or whatever, as opposed to them trying to get me to join their group. And then at the end, of course, they were selling packages of how you could become come into the group with them. And, it was elaborate and everything, and they followed up. But, I'm glad that I went because they did teach me some things. They taught me about how, when you have real estate, you definitely have more tax write-offs. And how, when you're in the business, how if you just work X amount of hours, you could charge, you could write that off as well. And also about how for your retirement, you could set up a Roth IRA property fund. So those things were eye-opening to me because I didn't know about them. So just the fact that, I did get out there and I went and I learned some things and I met some people. I got some business cards. The next one from a different group, I'm not going to be able to make, but I know that they have them often because I know for one of them, they was like their 14th. And for the one that I went to, I believe it was like their 10th. And okay. The one that I went to, the name of their group was Renatus, and they said that how they had like 10,000 members across the.
Yeah, I'm familiar with them. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, across the country, and then they just made me think that that's what we're doing here.
Right, right. So that's real. And Renatus it's a big program. Similar to one that I used to be affiliated with, and I still am loosely, called Strongbrook. So they do have a strong network. They do buying in, groups, like they do investment groups and they buy and stuff like that. Yeah. But yeah, they are a huge company, but they're definitely a company, like you said, that you pay for packages to be able to invest through them. And so, but you can learn. I'm so proud of you for going because, you reached out and you found it and you went and you did your thing and you always learn something, you guys. Thanks, Lisa, for sharing that because I forgot that. So thank you so much. Yeah, you're always going to learn stuff. None of these meetups or anything will ever be for nothing because you're going to meet people. You'll learn stuff that you didn't know before. you're always going to learn stuff. So I say put yourself out there. And then once you get your card, you tell people, I'm a wholesaling expert. I don't care if you ain't did one wholesale deal. You got me and Haywood to sit here and tell you what to do to get through that wholesale deal. Okay? And just like she said, you can say the same thing. Oh, I work with a group in the team. They have a team all over in 9 states. Well, really, it's more than that. There's 9 states are represented on this particular training. But I mean, we've trained people all over the place, clients in the Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, all over the place. So, you know, Canada, everywhere. So, you know, be feeling strong, like Hay would say, saying we. Don't say I, say we, because you're not in it by yourself. Okay? So, but make it your business to go to one of these events. Thanks, Lisa. I appreciate you sharing. Thank you.
Welcome.
Hey, what's up, Deontay?
All right, so before we close, just if I could just ask a question. Is there a way to get this comp information if we don't have the, you know, if we don't have a real estate agent on that team just yet? What I was doing earlier when I was checking the parcel searches, I ran into a section where it would explain the market value, and then I would go to Zillow, and it would be a different value. Like on Zillow, it would be like a higher figure. So what figure exactly should I be dealing with when trying to figure out the whole formula situation when, you know, when it comes down to that information being needed?
You need to get an agent, find an agent, and get some comps. Because it's too much variance. You understand what I'm saying? And because like in Maryland property records, you can go into Maryland property records and it will actually show you properties that were sold, and you could pick a date range. So it'll actually show you that. But a lot of times there's not enough for you to, it's not updated like it needs. So there's not enough in there for you to, you can try it with that. I mean, I've had people do it through the property records, property sales records that are on the tax assessor website. I've seen people do that, but I'm telling you, get one of those books that show you all the properties that are for sale in the area, because there are agents in those books. Start calling those agents, and I will put a script. I will put a script in there for you to use to talk to agents, okay? So use that script to just say, like I said, and but I will put it in there. Agent script. I will put it in there. Just say, hey, look, I'm looking for somebody to partner up with. Or you could call and say stuff like, any new agents? Well, maybe don't say that. That might get you in trouble. But just call. I had, when I was in the business called Prepaid Legal Services, the person who brought my mother into the business was somebody who picked up a phone, picked up a book, one of those realtor books, right? And just sat there and started calling agents. And the way he came at it was to say he wanted to partner with them, right? And he ain't no more want to partner with them than the man in the moon. Now you do. So you have something to offer them, which is an ability for them to get more listings. If they pull comps and those properties end up being listed, you will give them the listings. They'll be on your preferred agents list. I'll put that in the group, exactly what to say. But find the comps. Get somebody to pull comps for you. Up until that point, look at Zillow. If we have to pull it tighter, then we'll pull it tighter if it looks like it's really going to be a deal. So if tomorrow you see something and you want to figure it out, go on Zillow and look and see what the property is in the area. Because it's not, look at Zillow and click solds. Okay, because you can segment what you pull on Zillow by sold, foreclosure, pre-foreclosure. You can pull it like that. So click for sold on Zillow. And then maybe we'll do that. Z Buyer is a good list company. Z Buyer, Elaine said. Z Buyer is a good list company. Oh, okay, you mean, Elaine, you mean for motivated sellers? Oh, you're asking. Oh, I don't know. Hey, are you familiar with Z Buyer for lists?
No, ma'am. From a list broker standpoint?
Yeah.
Yeah, and look, I want you to know, I don't know that one. And I had, my list broker was an independent. She was a scrubber. She was an independent scrubber. And that's what they call them. But I had my own. Her name is Karen, and she's in like Nebraska somewhere. And I'll check to see if she's still doing it. And if she is, I'll let her know that I have a new crop of students. a lot of my students I've sent to her. But she's an independent, and she's doing like I'm doing, taking care of her parents. And sometimes she gets overwhelmed, and then she's not that good. So there's a ton of them, though. When I tell you there's a ton of them, there's a ton of them. And you just got to go through, talk to them, and see if they will do it the way you want it to be done. And then if not, then just go to like somebody like Haynes Crisscross Directory.
Okay, then, hey, well, then you have to put into the group, or give it to me so I can put into the group, list criteria, because you said do it in the way that you want it to be done.
Right.
Okay. So
Okay.
you need to tell them what that means.
Okay. There you go.
Yeah, be able to tell them what that means. So, and Melanie just asked me about Redfin. Can you pull souls in Redfin, Melanie?
Mm-hmm.
You can't unmute yourself? Oh, yes.
Yes.
I love, don't you love Lola, right? We gotta love that.
Lola?
Huh?
I just sent you a friend request to that Boundless Lola deal, because I don't have the group deal to post my information to.
Oh yeah, I know, because you won't have that till I'll add you as soon as we get off of here. Okay. As a matter of fact, I just added you.
Okay.
Hey Lola, could you give me your email address again?
Send it to Boundless. Send it to Boundless Lola, BOUNDLESS Lola @gmail. It's just like on Facebook, boundlesslola@gmail.com.
Okay. And did you get my text earlier about the invoice?
No, but we'll talk about that offline.
Oh, okay.
I didn't get a text message. I've been ripping and running all day. Today, just so y'all know, and I told y'all this one time before, but I don't expect y'all to remember my schedule. I do a show called That's Just Lola on YouTube. And I am there, Melanie and I do a show called That's Just Lola on YouTube. And I am there from Tuesday morning to most of the time Tuesday afternoon, especially if we haven't already decided what our production schedule is going to be for the rest of the month. And we had not done that today. Today was, it was the first, it's the first of the month. So I was there forever, and the young prince is here from North Carolina, so I was hanging out with him. We went to the movies. Child, your brother been asleep forever. And then I ran in to do this. That's honestly why I got delayed, because, he leaves on Thursday, so I was trying to get some time in. So I didn't look at anything that any of y'all sent me today. So anything that you saw me post, it was from my cell phone in the car, right? So I will get you in the group like right now, Nelson. Melanie, you said yes. So Melanie says yes to Redfin. You can absolutely post. You can pull souls in Redfin. So redfin.com, redfin.com. You can use like you use Zillow. Right, Mel?
Yes, they do the nearby souls as well as the nearby for sales. And they're usually all within the past 3 to 6 months.
That's what's up. Okay. Anybody got any questions?
One last question. I don't want to be selfish. If I can.
You good.
Is market value the same as ARV?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much.
Let me say this too, and put it on record so I can never say that I didn't say it. My son is being extremely careful about how he asks his questions. I don't know if y'all noticed, he said he don't want to be greedy and he doing all that kind of stuff, because I told him not to act out of pocket like he has some special privileges. So you're perfect, okay? You can ask as many questions as you want to. That's why you got into the class, all right? I'm not going to treat you like that. You can ask me whatever you want to. If it pertains to the class, I just said don't call me on Sunday morning when you should be saying good morning, Ma, and ask me nothing about a house. That's all I'm saying. Okay, so, but you good. You good. Look just like your daddy boy. You good. All right, so any other questions? Yes, Mr. Davis.
I believe Kanessa asked earlier, but the question was, so if we see a house that does have a realtor sign or for sale sign that is pretty much under contract, is not necessarily a good deal, or we should.
There you go. Good, thanks. Kanessa, look, Tony got your back, shawty. So this is what it is.
Thank you.
So yeah, no, that's not a deal. That house is listed 9 times out of 10, and it's listed for retail price. We are wholesale. Let me say this too. We are wholesalers. So sometimes when y'all call me and ask me questions, y'all be like, yo, why that's not a deal? You know, it sounds like if it's a retail price, you can't wholesale it. I'm not saying that to you, Tony. I'm not saying that to you, Kanessa. But we're wholesalers. So that's why Mayo is important and taking it to 30% below and minusing out all those things, because once you do that, you see the true wholesale floor.
Right.
But if it's something that's retail, and 9 times out of 10, it is retail now. If you see a property and then you pull it up and you see that it's listed for something that's way below value, maybe it's still beneficial to you. But 9 times out of 10, that's not going to happen. Unless, usually that's not going to happen. That's why I say if you're going to deal with realtor properties, they should be the pocket listings that the realtors haven't put online yet. Okay. Does that answer your question, Kanessa?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, so you don't send yellow letters to agents because they'll just ball them up and hit you with them. No yellow letters to agents. They don't.
Okay, and I got one additional question too.
Let me say this real quick before I forget. Agents don't really, y'all, Elaine and Trinae, or Trinae's gone, but y'all can co-sign this. For the most part, agents don't really like us that much. They're learning how to play with us fair now because they realize that they're losing out on money, which is why I'm getting ready to do this class on the 20th. I think it's the 20th. Hey, what is that? I think it's the 20th. So agents don't like us because we make more money than them and we don't have to pay all those fees and stuff. And we don't have to go take tests. So they like to tell people when we approach them before they do that what we say you need to be careful because they might get you in trouble. Or, they're not licensed. I don't need to be licensed to buy somebody's house or sell somebody's house. Not in the capacity of being an investor, okay? Not in this state or any of the states that y'all live in, okay? So understand that you have to read. That's the reason why you have to be careful about what you're saying to them and how you're saying it to them, because they don't necessarily, especially if they don't understand what we do, they feel like we're competition rather than understanding that we're not your competition. We are your companions in this thing. We need you, you need us. But most of them don't understand that. So when you start calling them and asking them a bunch of questions, if there's nothing in it for them, they're not going to be nice to you. They're not going to tell you a whole lot, okay? And it's going to be like pulling teeth unless you find the ones who understand the relationship that is symbiotic between the two of us, and we can all make money together, okay? So that's the other reason why you don't mess with them, because they ain't going to do you no favors giving you a break on a house unless they see the benefit in it for themselves as well, and they don't really like us. But it's not in all areas. What does that mean, Nelson? Nelson? What does that mean, but it's not in all areas? I think Nelson is gone. He is gone. Okay.
Yeah, I think he lost connection.
Okay. All right. Anybody else got any questions before y'all see me like flat on the?
Yeah, I had one additional question. As far as with the yellow letters sending out, there's a generic one that you all have inside I think it's the letter campaign.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
What is there a generic one that you can send to people who because there are a lot of properties that I went past that don't have for sale signs. Like you could tell they're abandoned. Like what would you say to a person if their house is not even on? I've looked up some properties and they're not even on the market. So what would you send to them? I mean, you can't say like, I'm interested in your property, the property that you have for sale, because obviously it's not really for sale. So but you could tell the property.
Okay. All right, wait a minute though. But the yellow letter doesn't say for sale. It just says I'm interested in your property on so and so street. You shouldn't be sending letters to anything that's for sale. Remember, we're wholesalers. So every letter that you send out is to a property that just appears to be abandoned or just appears to be distressed. You're not sending.
So it doesn't have to be.
Wait. Everybody can't talk at one time. Wait a minute. Okay, well, finish what you were saying, Kanessa.
So you're saying even properties, so we can go after properties that are for sale and not for sale. I get that part. I'm just asking, like, would you send a generic letter stating like you're just interested, or you just inquiring about the property? Like, I mean, how does that go?
Okay, the yellow letters are not for properties that are for sale. Nobody on this Zoom should be mailing yellow letters to properties that they see are under contracts with agents. Nobody. That's not what we're looking for. We're looking for properties like Miriam and I saw in Fort Washington the other day that appeared to be abandoned, appeared to be distressed, appear to not be occupied, right? Those are the properties that wholesalers look for, to go directly to the motivated seller, directly to the owner. We don't deal with agents. So flip what you said. Everything that we do is
But can you send a letter to a person that is selling their property, meaning like an owner? I only saw one property that said it's for sale by the owner. It's not under contract by a real estate agent or a real estate. I mean, it's not under contract by an agency or anything. It actually had a sign that said for sale by owner.
Absolutely. You can send a letter to a for sale by owner, but if we were just trying to send letters to for sale by owners, we wouldn't have too many letters to send, because you're
right, because I only came across one.
So to my point, what we've been talking about on here, especially today, is how to identify a house that is, as you weren't on the beginning of the call. So how to identify, but understand, wholesaling is not about going to agents or for sale by owner people necessarily. If you find a for sale by owner sign, that's excellent, because they really don't know what the hell they're doing for the most part, okay? But it's for you to find, when you're driving for dollars, properties that look like they need repair, like they're in disrepair, or like no one's living there because the lawn is not kept up, and all of those different things. That's what we're mailing to. We're not, because you're not going to find a lot of people with for sale by owner signs in the yard. So you have to be able to look at a house from what we were sharing earlier and discern whether or not that house is a house that you should mail to. And if you look it up in the property records and you see that the owner lives at a different address than the premises, then that's a house that you mail to.
Okay.
No, it doesn't really even depend on how distressed they are, because like I said, Tony, some of the houses that you see, it doesn't look that distressed. That house that Miriam and I passed by, it didn't look that distressed. It just, if you paid closer attention, you just could see that it was, with the sheet hanging in the window and the vines growing over on the side, and the other people with the weed whacker cut lawn, you know, the shutters that are falling down. You see the screens falling down on the inside, like some of the houses that Deontay posted on the page. So these, you know, different things that you see, maybe a crack in the window, mail stuffed in a mailbox that is falling down and you can tell nobody's not putting any mail in it. Those are different things that you see. All the things we went over earlier. So Kanessa, I'm gonna post the audio also in the group this time. So if you can't watch it, you can listen to it. All of those things.
Okay. And what about the properties that you mentioned last week? Like when you was like, can we send letters to properties that you said they may have signs in their yard saying that it's for rent by the owner? Because you said like sometimes they may have been trying to rent the property out for a while now, and maybe they might be looking to sell. Can you send letters to them as well?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And the yellow letter is not, the yellow letter is about as generic as you're going to get, and it doesn't specify house for sale. It just says the property located at. I'm interested in your property located at blah, blah, blah. It doesn't say sell.
Okay.
Okay. But I'm gonna post the audio so you can hear this from the beginning, because you definitely need to hear this from the beginning, because that'll help give you some more clarity. Okay.
Okay.
Glad you made it on though, so I'm not saying nothing about that. I'm glad you were able to get on. Does anybody else have another question? Yes, sir.
Last one, I promise. And this one is more of like that face. This is more like a general business, like from a marketing standpoint. I'm thinking like long term. How crucial is it for me to have like my corporate umbrella? Like, should my name be necessarily marketing to like real estate ventures, like how I see some of the people named as far as Hamilton Properties and like Omni Group and things of that nature? Like, if I want to have a separate other company under my first corporate umbrella, how important is that to have my name to be a certain way, or the name of the company? Should it not be real estate targeted?
When it comes to your motivated sellers, you want to be as least corporate as you possibly can. Because these people are used to getting official letters and correspondence from the people who are telling them that they're going to take their home from them, okay? Because they haven't paid or given them violations because they got stuff that needs to be fixed. You know, Natalie has a house that the tree fell on and it's all slammed and crushed up in top with a tarp on it. They're used to getting letters from official agencies that, guess what? Most of the time, they don't even open them anymore. So that's why the science of the yellow letter works so well, because it's a handwritten letter in an invitation style envelope. And when people see invitation style envelopes, they want to know where the party at, where the party at, right? But there's no party in there. There's that I want to buy your house, okay? So, but at least you get them to open it. So when we're mailing out letters and correspondence to people, we even do postcards that look like yellow letters, handwritten yellow letters, because we want people to be comfortable with picking up the phone and call us. Remember this, especially if it's their personal residence, this is a scary time for them. So they don't react well to corporate entities, because to them, we all trying to take advantage of them. So if it's, hey, you know, me and my wife, me and my brother, me and my sister sold your house, and we were wondering, you know, your property at blah, 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 are you interested in selling it? There's nothing threatening about that.
Well, I mean, just the LLC name itself, not necessarily the tone in which you talk to them, just the company LLC.
I mean, on the back end side for the buyer, if you want to impress the buyer.
Right, I'm thinking for marketing.
Yeah, not really, because if you got a good deal, they don't care what your name is.
Right.
If you got the good deals for them, they wouldn't care whether you was Boo Boo the Fool LLC. You understand what I'm saying? But the deal is, you want to sound professional, of course. Right. Don't kill yourself about that. You know what I'm saying? The deal is, get the property under contract and build a buyer's list in order to get rid of that property. You know what I mean? You can do all of that. Talk to your business manager to properly set up your structure, your umbrella. If you're going to do a series LLC, you know what I'm saying? Because you're going to hold these properties. So you do a master LLC, and then then you got a series LLC where you have a whole bunch of other LLCs up underneath it. Then you don't have to keep paying the same amount of money each time to put together the LLC. So you did lots of different ways to do all of that stuff. Talk to a corporate person, you know, not a corporate person, but a business person, you know, to help you do that. Business structure. I'm not the one, but whatever you want to name it is fine. On your business cards, just like I said, let it sound professional. Don't hurt your head about it. Your primary concern right this minute, though, is getting properties under contract so that you have some inventory to sell. That's where you want to spend your energy. That's why I'm not even talking about buyers list right now. I ain't talking about buyers, how to build buyers, and that's different. Melanie will tell you, because she's been around me for a minute. Typically, by now, I'm talking about building buyers lists and networking. I don't care about that right this minute. Right this minute, I want y'all to get some properties under contract. And then when you get it under contract, we'll deal with it from that point. Come say hi to your brother, and we'll get it under contract. Then after that, well, he's eating. But then after that, we'll figure out how to move through the rest of it. Okay, we'll figure out, just wave though, don't talk. We'll figure out how to move through the rest of it. See, there's your brother. Okay. We'll figure out how to move through the rest of it. So don't worry about that. It's important, but it's not important right now. Right now, what's important is that you get money, okay? That's what's important right this minute. Anybody else got any more questions? Say, my grandfather used to say yes. Anybody else got any more questions? Bradley, Terrence, Richard, Canessa. I know if Natalie comes up with a question, she's gonna message me during the week.
Nope, I think I asked enough tonight.
Girl, there's no limit. I mean, I might fall asleep while y'all keep asking, but I'll keep answering them as long as I can.
Ask one of us might have that same question.
You got another question?
No, I'm good.
Tony, you got another one?
I say she should ask, because one of us might have that exact same question.
That's right. If you got one, spill it.
No, I don't.
Okay. Okay, Richard, good. Who said that? D?
That was me.
Okay.
I wrote this down when I was out earlier. Historic districts. What do you think about the historic districts? Like, actually, one of the pictures I posted up earlier was one of the historic districts. I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
Sometimes it's hard to flip those because there's so many requirements when it comes to rehabbing. You have to maintain certain colors and doors and windows and down to doorknobs and stairs. So sometimes it's difficult. Yes, sir, I'm gonna call you just a second. So sometimes it's difficult when you do that because, and then sometimes there's so many covenants, so many different things that restrict you from doing what you want to do when you rehab the house. Not to say that you can't do it, but there's not as many, sometimes not as many buyers for it on the back end. That's what my experience has been. But Haywood, please.
No, hey, all I was going to add to that, because Lola's absolutely right. But remember who you're catering to, right? Your deal is that your buyers list, when we start to tell you how to make it and how to develop it, is landlords, rehabbers, and developers. So this is the reason, one of the reasons why you want to go to these networking meetings where they are, so that you can get what they're looking for. A lot of times they will announce what they're looking for just out in the open, but sometimes it makes sense for you to help cultivate a relationship with them and find out what is it that you're looking for, where is it that you want it to be, and this. So you want to ask those questions. But if you find out that they are interested in a particular historic district, you want to, and they already know, they already know what the requirements are and are not and all that kind of stuff. And they'll give you, or they'll forward you, they'll send you to a site, they'll give you the site, they'll sit down with you and have coffee, any of that. But so that's where your research would come in at.
And when we start talking about buyers list, that's how you're going to become an expert wholesaler, by really mastering certain areas. We're going to start talking about I talked a little bit about this in the first call, mastering your area, really getting to know the area that you are doing business in. And when you do that, and then you learn new areas, when you do go to the Real Estate Investment Association meetings, when you do go to the meetups or the RIAs, like Lisa did, then people can come up to you and you'll be saying to you, oh, so what you into? And you say, oh, well, I specialize in zip code, blah, 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 blah. Oh, really? Yeah, and it's because you did your research. You know what kind of development is coming to that area. Like I just found out new stuff about the Upper Marlboro area. I'm not telling y'all, but I just found out new stuff about the Upper Marlboro area the other day from this house that I went to look at. And their plans coming up, I'm just joking with y'all, their plans coming up all over the place, like to build like these magnificent river walks and all this kind of stuff is coming to Upper Marlboro, in Maryland, in the Maryland area. And if you don't ask around, that's why you talk to people. You let people run their mouths so that they could tell you, but then you can Google, development in that city or in that zip code, and you will learn about it. And that's what you want to do. Like you said, if you want to specialize in, because if you have a lot of homes in the historic district up there and you find a pocket of people that are into that, shoot, you can make a mint specializing just in that. Because the reason why I wanted to do real estate was because my parents used to take me up to New England, Rhode Island, and we would look at all these fantastic mansions that were gilded with gold and all this kind of stuff. And I just and then I grew up in a brownstone, right? So then I loved the architecture and the way the houses were made. I mean, I was the kid who went up to the apartment building on Kingston Avenue and just was amazed by the ornate carvings in the top of the building. Like that stuff, I was always really, Lisa, right? So I was always really just amazed by that. Just amazed by that. And so that's the reason why I wanted to get into real estate. Well, there are lots of people who are just blown away by that and they want to live in a house like that. So if you find that as a niche, because you have a lot of them up there, and I forgot that you do, you live in a place where there's a lot of that because there was a lot of money up there at one time, right? So you can specialize in that. You just got to go where they are, and then it don't have to be the only place, but it could be one of your specialties because those are huge houses. So they're not going to be cheap to rehab. Okay. But there are people who want them. And some of them can be converted into multi-unit dwellings. If they're zoned for it, some of them can be converted into commercial spaces if they're zoned for it. Someone might end up using it. An architect might want to have it as their studio, in their office where you got to just kind of think it all out. But you can cater to anybody you want to. Anybody else have any questions?
Did you see the email that I sent you with the list of the properties?
Yep.
Did you want me to do anything else with those?
You sent me a list and you told me what was going on with each of the ones as you saw them. Didn't you do that? Isn't that what I said?
Yeah, I have done that Maryland site and just kind of wrote down some of the stuff that I found, but should I do anything else with them?
You should mail to them. You should mail to them if you have other addresses other than the main address. If you should run them through, we can run them through PeopleSmart. And let me say this to you, and I might get in trouble. Hayward don't look like he's listening though. So if you're doing stuff in that area and I'm interested in that area, you probably gonna get a little bit more talk because I wanna, like Miriam came to Maryland and she's looking at them. I know you ain't asking.
I wrote them down for you, Lola.
I know she did, but this is how I am. She took the time to write them down. So because she took the time to write them down, she getting some of the deal. Because I didn't find them, she found them. That's how I work. Okay, that's how we do each other. We don't do that. Not doing that. So that's how that goes. So if you find stuff and I'm interested in it, like I had told Trinae, I need something in Birmingham, Alabama. So quite obviously, because she don't know what she's doing, I gotta work the deal with her in Birmingham, Alabama. You understand? Hayward's ignoring me because I'm kind of giving away free stuff. But I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it if I'm not interested in the area. But if I'm interested in the area, then I'll help you work through some of it. Y'all got
Well, like I was saying, I wrote them down for you, but like when you're doing the work for them, I just kind of like to see what's going on. You know what I mean? Like I didn't write them down because I want to cut. I just want to see like what the process is as you find more information on them and maybe even, you know.
Well, what I did earlier with you guys, that's really my process.
Okay.
That's for real. That's my process. There's one other site that I may go to sometime, which is Zaba Search, Z-A-B-A. I told y'all this the first class. Z-A-B-A Search, SEARCH.com to look up people. But since I pay for PeopleSoft, I don't. Yeah, Zaba Search. Yep. Thanks, baby. Since I pay for PeopleSoft, I don't really mess with Zaba Search that much anymore because and the next program I get that's more powerful than PeopleSmart, I probably stop messing with PeopleSmart. Okay, so but that is my process. I first look it up in the property records. Then if I can't find what I need in the property records, then I'll look it up on the PeopleSmart, right, to see what other information, the relatives and all that kind of stuff, if they don't have an alternate address. And then I won't go any further if that's it. Like now, I'm going to send a yellow letter to probably two of those people, two of those relatives, and make phone calls to the numbers I have. And then we'll see what happens. I got a bunch of stuff from Virginia that I just got, Alexandria area. So the deal is though, like Hayward said, the fortune is in the follow-up. So once you write that stuff down, it's about getting those letters out.
Well, I really want to concentrate on my area right now. So
yeah.
Do whatever you want to do with them. That's.
No, we're gonna go through. I'm gonna make Canessa. Canessa gonna help me work them. She don't know it. Canessa gonna be in on this too, because she in for it.
Yeah, I was just writing them down as I noticed them because they caught my attention. You know,
no, I appreciate you. That's what's up. I appreciate you. So okay, reverse engineering the deal. Tony, I don't know what you. I know that it was a good point you made. I just don't know what you were talking about.
No, it was just when Hayward was talking about going to the buyers and finding exactly what do they like. That's why you kind of working backwards.
Have you done any training courses before, Tony?
I've been doing a lot of research, to 10 different seminars, things of that nature. But
that's a big boy term, reverse engineering. That's a big boy term. That's a big boy term. No, that ain't no weak. That's a big boy term. That's why I was like, what's he talking about? But you do know what you're talking about. So like Hayward said, thumbs up. All right, does anybody else got any other questions?
No, Lola, I just sent you 2 emails. So.
Okay. Can I look at it tomorrow?
But it's okay. Well, one of them is concerning what I was going to talk to you about, but you said not to talk about it. We talk about it offline. So
yeah. So
it's from my alternate email address.
Okay, because I said tomorrow, I'll deal with that tomorrow because I can't really see straight right now. Okay. So I'm sleepy. So are we? Haywood, do you have anything you want to throw into the bucket?
Only that I want to give a serious thumbs up to Lisa for stepping off the curb to go to the and, it doesn't matter. Step off the curb. I just want everybody to start just moving in some level of action. I got to put in the criteria for the list broker, and I definitely want in the process of stepping off the curb. Don't overcomplicate it. Just get this thing in motion. You can't. Just like Lola used to tell me this. Just go ahead and push the button. You can't break it. I mean, really, we live in a digital world, so it's not stuff that you can break. And this is the same thing with real estate investing. I assure you that we had people that signed up for our one-on-one back in the days, and they were so confident because they knew we had their back. And they were out there doing absolutely ridiculous stuff, but it was paying them. So do not overcomplicate this. I just want you to be in flow, be in action. And there are deals. I've done this scope before. So Tony, I know you've seen me say this, and Mr. Black, well, he's not on here. You've heard me say this, is that there are deals right in your 6 degrees of separation. Everybody has a deal that's right in their family. Right now, there is a deal in your own personal network before you even step into the outer circle of your acquaintances. There's a deal. Most people have a deal on their Facebook page or their Twitter page. In your social media, there is a real estate investment transaction. I want you to know that, and that's a fact. But if you don't say something, you don't say nothing, man. There ain't no way they're going to know. It's no possible way. That's not.
No, it isn't now because there's nobody on here to feel any way about it. But
I mean, it's going to be in the whole wide world. So, but okay. But the deal is that it's not. You got to get it out there. Lola in 29 ways. The very last one is don't be a secret agent. Don't be a secret investor.
Lisa had a question. What's your question, Lisa?
I know that we was talking about, finding out what's coming into the area, what have you. I just wanted to know, would it be a conflict or would it be all right? Because I've been taking steps to get on the community boards. Mm-hmm. And you know how they have committees, different committees. And of course, one of the committees I would be on would be health. And the other one now would be about housing or, that type of thing.
Development, right.
Right. So.
No, that's not a conflict.
Okay.
Right. Not a conflict.
And move as if you are a 10, 15-year veteran. Please, don't feel as though, remember the story that I told about who that says, I'm gonna, and what's the percentage of people that do? After making that rah-rah statement, Lola and I, especially, we like network marketing. In our spare time, we like doing network marketing. And so we see it all the time. I'm gonna be your number one. And they never get off the couch. Still sitting there eating potato chips. Don't do it. Because you learn in the action. You learn in the do.
Okay, so Natalie, remind me that I have some investors in your area that you can connect with for us to put on your buyers list. And Lisa, you too. That I have that you can start to build your buyers list with. I suggest you keep it in a spreadsheet. Once you get the information and put, if they're cash, hopefully they'll be cash buyers, everybody that you put. But not everybody has to, because your number's a lot bigger where you guys are. Can I finish though?
No, I'm not. No, I'm sorry. I just was looking at my finger going, All right, go ahead.
So he's going. So he wasn't even talking to me, y'all. He's playing with his fingers. So So I got some people that I want to introduce, send your way to Natalie. Specifically, as time goes on, because of some social media stuff that I'm going to be doing, I probably will have, and some software that Haywood and I are going to purchase, I probably will have people to send in all of you guys' directions. So, you know, Tony, where are you again?
Houston, Texas.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, good. I want to be down there. Would you say, Haywood?
I didn't say a word.
Oh, Tony, would you say? Somebody must have said something.
No, I didn't say anything.
All right.
Come on down. You're welcome.
Everybody, do your homework. I was going to challenge y'all to do something else this week.
All right. So you think about what your challenge is. I do have a request. I do. There is a deal in Spartanburg, South Carolina, that I need somebody that, if somebody has anybody in that area, I need some eyes on the ground. So if anybody's got some eyes in Spartanburg, South Carolina, there's a deal there. I'll go. I might have to go there myself, but if I can get somebody there and guide them and tell them what I'm looking for, I would appreciate it. If anybody's got anybody in Spartanburg.
I don't think I'm that far from there, Haywood. I'm in Gastonia.
Who?
I'm in Gastonia. I'm not far from Spartanburg, right? I don't think I am.
If you got the time, Miriam, I got you. The deal. I know. And look, I almost get. My bet is on you that you're going to get the first deal in the group.
Oh gosh, the pressure.
Yeah. It's not important. And I know Lola she hates.
Awesome.
Don't do that.
Lola hates when I do that kind of stuff. But again, I still got my odds are on you, Miriam. My odds on. But Lola hates when I do that. So actually, we're going to negate that. I take it back. And there is no competition on who gets the first deal. That's not even what's going on. But anyway,
is being recorded. It's impossible for you to take it back.
What do you need? Somebody just go look at the property?
Yeah, I need eyes on the ground. I need some boots on the ground. And then the reason why is because, and there's some services out there, but I'd rather keep it internal and we keep the deal. But apparently there was a storm there, and I don't know if you were aware that there was a big storm. And there was a lot of houses that went under. So, some went under on one block and some didn't go under on another block. I just need to know if there's flood damage. That's all.
Okay, well,
maybe
if you just text me the address, I can see how far it is.
Absolutely.
I can make it out there.
Yeah. No, I'll do that first thing in the morning.
Okay.
All right, I'll give you her email address and
Email.
Huh?
Text.
Okay, I'll text it to you. It's really easy, but I'll text it to you. So I'm gonna get ready to shut it down. You guys, anybody got any other questions? I'm gonna get ready to shut it down. Y'all good? All right, do your homework. Get it done. I got 2 people send me stuff. Let's see who the third person is. And any questions you got, put them in the group. Send me a message. I will answer them for you. I promise. And do like Natalie. If I don't answer what you send me in Messenger, send it to me another way. My telephone number is 240-351-8060. So you could text me.
Can you repeat that one more time, please?
240-351-8060. He was like shocked that I'm giving out my telephone.
Shocked. You hear me?
Yep, that's it. My son just put it in there. 240-35. He put it in the chat, so you can look in the chat and see it. Most of you have it anyway, but some of y'all don't. So let's check in again. We'll see what you guys do. Remember, the weekend is a prime opportunity to get out there and start looking for houses. And absolutely tell everybody what you do. Everybody post on your, that was a challenge. Post on your page that you're newly entered. Do you know anyone? I'll put it in the group. Do you know anyone who's dealing with a sticky or difficult real estate situation? If so, inbox me.
Right.
That's my challenge. Stop hiding.
I don't want you to make it sound like you're just entering. I want you to seem like you're leaping and that you kept it a secret, but you're now like a 10-year veteran.
Well, I
Can
don't
we
want.
do-
I don't even want them to do me. That's not what I'm asking.
Right.
What
That's
I'm
right.
asking
Okay.
is just for you to put down what I said. Pretty much what is on the back of your card, Miriam. Do you know? Does let me see. Are you or anyone you know dealing with a sticky or difficult real estate situation? I want you to post that on your page, and I don't want you to assign anything about you on it, because then people will judge you, and they've never heard you talk about real estate before. So
My
if you
team.
post that on your page and you said, no, I don't even want you to say my team. Because if you've been doing beats like my son, and you start posting that on your page right away, people don't know why the hell he talking to me about real estate. So just ask it like they can assume that you asking it for somebody else. All right. Are you or anyone that you know currently dealing with a sticky or difficult real estate situation? Okay. Just see what happens. Just see what happens. Nothing may not happen, but just put it out there and see what happens. If there are people who know you and trust you, they may send you a message and say, inbox me now. Then they'll see what they'll send you. You never know. So just put that out there. That's a challenge for y'all. And I'm going to check everybody's Facebook page to see whether or not y'all did it. What's up, Tony?
Real quick. So don't start offering referrals just yet. Wait till we get a little more season.
Unless you can hold the whole conversation and answer people's questions, no.
Okay.
So if they send you a response, you let me know, and then you get them on the phone with both of us.
Okay, cool.
Okay? All right. Anybody else? No. Okay. So you guys follow that challenge. I'm going to post the list criteria, the agent script, and this question that I just said to post on your Facebook page in the group, and questions to ask title companies in the group. And that's what I'm going to post tomorrow. Okay? All right, y'all. I'll talk to y'all later. Have a great night. Great class.
Have a good one, guys. Thanks a lot. If you need me, call me. Y'all know my works.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, Joel.
Night.
Good night. Good night.
Happy investing.
Good night.